to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Thursday, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. The Kings are back in action, and we can finally, hopefully, get back on the winning side of things. Tyrese Halliburton, I think, is playing a couple mind games here, he is marked as questionable. And if you don't recall, he was literally carried off the court, which feels like a week ago. It did not happen very long ago. I would be incredibly surprised if he does play, but I appreciate the gamesmanship in him even attempting to play. And we all know why. Yeah. We all know why he is attempting to play. We have Brad Graham of the SF Niners YouTube channel at 11, and really just a Niners platform in general. It's one of the biggest Niner platforms in the I guess NFL social media space right now. So we'll talk to him for 2 segments. That's from 11 to 11:30. We have some really, really funny sound on. And look, I get on the Niner fans, the Brock stars that just claim to be underdogs and this, that, the third.
Constantly persecuted.
I can't defend what is happening because Brock Purdy is getting wildly disrespected. So we have a lot of that sound. We also have some really interesting Clippers rules from the new arena.
The
in
wall,
Englewood,
right?
The wall, what you are allowed and not allowed to do. Nate Littlefield behind the glass doing a great job for us already. Chris Watkins, how you doing?
Pretty good. Yeah, excited to get back in the arena tonight. It's been like two weeks since we've been back at Golden One, so excited for later today. I don't think Tyrese is going to play. Like you said, it feels like it's a bit of mind games. We'll get into that later. But yeah, I mean, just kind of good to be back in the saddle and hoping that the Kings can end this 3-game losing streak tonight, as they definitely should. Because if they lose tonight, oh boy, I don't know how, but I think we might have again gotten our worst loss of the season.
Yeah, and that's what, a 3-game losing streak on the road. They beat 2 teams that just aren't very good. And then they took care of business the front end. The back end got a little squirrely. I saw a couple quotes from Trey Lyles yesterday that just said we felt like we could have gone 4-1.
Right.
And I would assume that's what's interesting. Well, which one is the one, right? I guess the Sixers is my assumption. They just didn't show up against the Sixers. Yeah. The Sixers was the one that they probably feel like they should have had. And then obviously you get Dame time against the Bucks and you get the collapse in Phoenix, the Phoenix Rising, if you will. And they're going to try to get back on the right track of things. We have some audio. We've been hard on De'Aaron Fox this week because he's a leader. And that's how it happens. We have some audio just in as it pertains to how the locker room was after that. And that's from, if you were listening to the Drive Guys, it's from Jason Anderson when he hopped on that show as well. And Sabonis has cracked the top 10.
Wow. What a miracle.
I'm proud of Sacramento Kings fans for coming together, for hopping on their phones, their computers, their tablets. People still say tablets. That's still a thing.
It's fading. It's
fading because, do they really do tablets have a need anymore unless you have a small child?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's still a good on-the-go thing. Like, I still think it would be nice for me to have a tablet. Like, I watch games all over the place. It'd be cool if, whatever, I got to go, got to go to this baby shower or something. I don't
Yeah.
know, that's probably not an appropriate setting to
right,
bring up.
right.
I don't know. Just whatever. It'd be nice to have a tablet just to kind of be on the go, and you never know. I think Frankie uses his tablet pretty efficiently as well. So yeah,
But if you use your tablet, I feel like a lot of times it's set up.
yes, so
like
that's
a
the thing.
computer.
It ends up just being like a version of a laptop for sure. And frankly, I mean, it's got a little bit more restrictions than a laptop would. So I hear you for sure. But yeah, it definitely feels like the tablet market is definitely shrinking.
Right. Amid Rock here. Shout out to the Sack Chat. Amid Rock Styles. I still use a tablet. It's lighter than my laptop.
Absolutely.
All right. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yours not business enough, you know?
Right. That's
Tablets
true.
are for business.
That's true. Yeah. There's going to be a good bit of Niners talk today as we get ready for their showdown with the Packers on Saturday.
Yeah.
Who feel really confident
They
the
do.
Packers do.
They
And
really do.
I'm very confused as to why, because I still wouldn't consider them the hot team. I think you got to
Sure.
win 2 games to enter that hot team category, which is interesting with the Bills because they're also the 2 seed. We know that it's looked weird.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really feel like they were a 2 seed, but they are the 2 seed. So I don't think you can be a dark horse. What's the level? What's the line to be a dark horse? You have to be
Yeah.
at least a 3 seed to be a dark horse.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the Packers are a dark horse.
No, they
like,
are.
yeah.
I also just don't think that they're going to do anything. They could be a dark horse.
Right, which puts them as a dark horse.
That's
If you
true.
think they're going to do nothing, that
Yeah,
definitely.
But the dark horse is when people start believing that the Packers could do something. I feel like only in Cheesehead land
Yeah.
they have convinced themselves.
Yes,
I don't think anybody else. I know the line moved a little bit to 8,
Yeah,
but I
think it's
can't
just because that was so high, and the Packers are playing really well.
Exactly. And
And
then
as we've talked about too,
Yeah.
when the Niners win, they tend to win big too. I
Mhm.
mean, they're putting up 30 in just about every week. So it's, I don't know. It makes the 10 line makes sense to me, but I could understand how, like you're saying, people outside of the market, or maybe even more specifically, people in the Green Bay area, I could see how maybe they say, oh, we're the hottest team in football. Did y'all not watch? We just tore apart the Cowboys last week. Y'all think we can't compete with this team?
Mhm.
Like, I could understand how, especially when, Green Bay, they play in terrible weather. And so they're like, you're telling us right now we're going to be in some nicer weather than what we're accustomed to.
yeah.
I could understand how they could convince themselves that they have a chance. But ultimately, I unless the Niners play a bad game, which we're going to talk more, we're probably going to talk more Niners today and tomorrow than we have the past couple weeks. But it's I mean, I think the Niners got it pretty handily.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. To me, the issue is the Packers defensively. And you talk about Nick Bosa said, oh, we put the book out on Jalen Hurts. We have some sound from Jason Kelsey since retired. And I might have to walk back the idea that the Niners broke the Eagles because Jason Kelsey does allude to that. So we have some sound there. And yeah.
Did you just say Kelsey retired?
Did he unretire?
He's that report. I think he came out and said on McAfee or something that that wasn't official. That was a leak thing. He hasn't made a decision yet.
Interesting.
Interesting.
So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he didn't retire, and there was everywhere.
Yeah. There's definitely like
I hate this.
BR gridiron and
I
all
hate
that
this
stuff
so much.
saying he retired.
So then, right, because that's the thing. That happens, and then he goes on McAfee, and hey, no disrespect, I don't sit there and watch McAfee. And I guess he unretires, and the biggest thing is there's no bleacher. I didn't see it. Oh, yeah. He unretired.
Where's the unretired
Maybe
graphic?
I missed it.
he was mad that the report came out.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to guess, not to turn this into a Jason Kelsey segment, but I would guess he's probably going to retire, though. I mean, I was at my barbershop when I watched it, granted, so I was kind of in and out of it, but I watched the Kelsey documentary on Amazon, and it seemed like after winning or going to the Super Bowl last year, he was pretty close to calling it quits before this year even started.
And he already has a ring.
Already got the ring, and I mean, if he's coming back next year, you would ideally think that would the only way he would come back next year is if they feel like they're going to be in the Super Bowl contention. And I don't know, it'd be tough to convince me after the way the Eagles ended this season that it's fine. Like, gonna just turn this thing around. Remember 10-1,
Mhm.
and we can replicate that next year. I think that's bold thinking.
Yeah. So, with that situation, we kind of I have to kind of walk that back because I still think that it was in the midst of everything. But yeah, I can agree that was the straw that maybe broke the camel's back. And there was just
tough.
No coming back from that. There was just no coming back from that. Also, some trade targets, and we have some details on Pascal Siakam, some audio there, as well as we take you up to 2 p.m. And we rank the quarterbacks. Brock Purdy is definitely being disrespected. Got to get to a break. When we get back, the Kings have been struggling, but how bad? We'll tell you how bad. We got some numbers. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
No teams have faced each other more in playoff history than the San Francisco 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. That record-setting 10th meeting is Saturday night as the top seed 49ers look to move to the NFC Championship, while Green Bay is seeking their second consecutive upset.
Join Greg Papa and Tim Ryan for the call Saturday at 5:15 on your home for the San Francisco 49ers, Sactown Sports.
San Francisco!
California's largest sportsman's expo is back Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Buy the latest gear, meet the experts, learn about fishing, hunting, boating, and off-roading. See Toyota's all-new Tacoma. This is the place to discover your next adventure, nearby or around the world. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Beachhead Deli on 711 K Street is now your place to go in downtown Sacramento prior to all the games, concerts, and events. Conveniently located just across the street from the arena, Beachhead Deli features the finest gourmet sandwiches and craft beverages anywhere. Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street is also your premier lunch destination 7 days a week. Come by and say hi to new owner Brad Wakai. He's so excited to take care of all your taste bud needs. That's Beachhead Deli at 711 K Street in Sacramento.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
The Kings have not been playing like royalty lately. And that is unfortunate, but we hope that they are able to get back on the right track. Stiles and Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m. and some numbers that we want to go over as far as how bad the Kings have been. The Kings, this is from Sactown Baby Giraffe, Tim Maxwell of the Kings Herald. They have beaten one team over 500 in their last 7 games, right? The Kings are actually their last 13 games. The Kings are 6-7 in their last 13 games, and they've lost 3 in a row. They've beaten one team over 500. They lost to Portland and Charlotte. They've gone down 20+ at Detroit and Atlanta before winning. I forgot about that, Atlanta. They've been beaten by 15+ points 3 times, and they blew most recently a 22-point lead to the Suns. You know, Chris, we talked yesterday about, was this the worst stretch? Has this been the worst stretch for the Kings? And we were just thinking, I think these last couple games, thanks to Tim Maxwell and looking at their last 13 games, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is,
and it's felt like it too, right?
It felt like
even
it.
eye test matches it.
I think the reason it hasn't initially felt like it is because they were sitting in that 5th seed, flirting with 4th seed. Now that you're 6-7, I'm sure it feels like that now. Yeah. We haven't gotten very many texts saying to relax. We haven't gotten very many calls saying to relax. We haven't gotten anything on the Sac Chat saying to relax. So that changes things a little bit. That's I did not really. I'm not sure I realized it's been that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I mean, to me, it has felt that bad because it felt like it has legitimately been, for every step forward, it's been a step back, whether it be a 2-game win streak followed by a loss, or now you're seeing them, have that 3-game losing streak after, squeaking by some wins against Detroit, and even, even the Atlanta game as well. It just felt like this team the ship is no longer steady. You're really starting to feel this thing rock. At the beginning of the year, I mean, they were playing, I think even at the beginning of the year, we would say they're getting the results, but it doesn't look like they are at the level that they were last year. It doesn't feel like this team has reached their full potential. And instead of reaching that potential, it feels like I think Whitey said it yesterday. They're knocking on the ceiling of how good they can get, and instead of breaking through that ceiling, it feels like they've just teetered and just can't break through. And this has definitely been the roughest stretch, and it's really disappointing because, I mean, Kevin Huerter started to play better. I think they've gotten more consistency out of, Huerter, Monk, Sabonis, and, De'Aaron's been up and down. But with the other guys contributing, you would have thought that kind of boost would have helped just the team as a whole. And it's just led to more inconsistency, strangely enough. So I definitely think, and I've thought it for really since I remember saying the last home game they had. What was that? Was that what was the last home game at Golden One Center? I just remember saying
they got a W.
It was the last game was New Orleans. That's right. It was the terrible blowout in which the Kings were down by 50 at home. I mean, that to me felt like a moment where clearly this team doesn't have it. Whatever it is, they aren't able to compete at the highest level in this league right now. And I didn't think by the time we came back there wouldn't be a move. I'm shocked that we sit here today and there hasn't been any adjustment made, because I've known, or I feel like I've recognized for about 2 weeks now that something needs to happen for things to go differently. And I think the fact that they haven't made a move has led to this 500 play. I mean, I think the team, like Whitey said yesterday, I think they've just kind of reached their ceiling.
Yeah,
or this group, I should say.
This group, I feel like it has, unless if the thing about Kevin Huerter getting hot is that could happen, and it's just different because of the West this season. I just don't think it would be. First of all, it has to happen, and second of all, the question is, would it be enough? And I don't know if it's enough. And now, and we're looking at some of these splits with De'Aaron. You got to think about this. Are things going to even out? De'Aaron is starting to cool off a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So if De'Aaron cools off and then Kevin Huerter heats up, you kind of just canceled each other out. You're kind of still playing at the same level, and what we've seen.
But I don't think one is exclusive to the other.
I don't think it is either. I think you're still hoping for a lot of things to go right to get to that next level, and I'm just not quite sure that that's going to happen specifically this year with this West. Right? Maybe even last season, with last season's West, with the Timberwolves still trying to figure it out, and with the Nuggets obviously being the Nuggets, but with OKC a year younger and still trying to get their footing. But now these guys are rocking and rolling all across the West right now, and we're still just hoping that some of these sleeping giants, if the Lakers looked good against the Mavs themselves, right, they're up and down. So if you're not going to make a move, we talk so much about the move. If you're not going to make a move, that's fine, right? But I don't think we can sit here. I don't think you're going to convince anybody, Monty McNair or Vivek, that you have a championship roster right now.
Yeah.
And maybe that's okay.
Totally. But
I don't think anybody is buying what you're selling in terms of this team can really make a push.
Yeah, no, I think what you just said there is it sparked something in my head where, I think the problem is the Kings and Kings fans, I think rightfully so, feel like the Kings need to be or should be in the tier of those OKC, of Minnesota, of Denver, of the Clippers. But instead, they're in that tier of the two teams you just listed. They're more so of the Dallas inconsistent. They have 2 stars, but just pretty much nothing else.
Right.
The Lakers, who, are floundering and are, in and out of the play-in. The fact that the Kings are in that tier, I think that's where a lot of the frustration stems from too, because I just think the Kings should be better than that. There's no reason for them. They know who they are. They have more. Well, I guess this year it's been really a lot of Fox and Sabonis, but ideally in a perfect world, they have more contributors than just their two stars. Like, again, Mavericks are really just led by Luka and Kyrie, and they take them as far as they can go. The Lakers obviously ran by LeBron and AD, and they go as far as they go. The Kings were meant to have that in Fox and Sabonis, but they were also meant to have Kevin Huerter contribute, Keegan Murray. And so that's supposed to put them in that tier above them. And instead, I would just say they're at the top of that tier, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And if you look at rosters, I mean, you could make an argument that if you look at the Lakers, let's take the Lakers, for example. If you look at the Lakers roster and the Lakers supposedly had the best offseason ever, right?
That's what we heard.
So is it a matter of the Lakers, were they wrong? Are the Lakers underproducing? Or, whatever it is.
I would say the media was wrong.
If you ask the most media members who has a better roster, the Lakers or the Kings, what do you think they would say?
They would probably say equal, which I think is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I think a lot of people are high on D'Angelo Russell. I think Austin Reeves people are high on, and then I think they would just say the overall LeBron and AD are better than De'Aaron and Domas.
Right. So there's LeBron, and even if you called that a wash,
right,
you would still, LeBron and those four, the two duos, that's a wash. Now you look at the other pieces, and I think to your point,
there's just bigger name. I mean, people are
right.
Also, I don't think my feelings on D'Angelo Russell are well chronicled, but I feel like people would say D'Angelo Russell. I don't know if they would say equivalent to Malik Monk, but they would probably say he's somewhere near that. I would completely disagree.
Yeah,
or maybe they would say that about Austin Reeves.
I was going to say Austin Reeves, and they just defensively, we know they can defend, right? They got guys that can defend, whether they're Taurean Prince and Vanderbilt. So I guess the only reason I'm saying that is because that's a team who is at least comparable to the Kings as far as roster construction, and they have been underperforming.
Sure.
Is it possible they get hot? Is it they're either going to get hot or make a move?
Right.
So the Kings on this right now, I think Kings are at best. Right now, as of this moment, I don't see the Kings getting past the 5 seed. There's no reason for me to think they're going to get past the 5 seed. And that has just as much to say about the Kings as it does the field.
Sure. Yeah, because I guess the teams in front of them right now are Minnesota, OKC, Denver, the Clippers, right?
Yeah.
So, and the Kings are currently the 6 seed. The 5 seed right now is New Orleans.
New Orleans a 5 seed now?
New Orleans is the 5 seed right now. They are a game ahead of the Kings. They are 25-17.
Wow.
So if the Kings just split the games that they've played against New Orleans this year, they would be the 5 seed. But you can't play that what if game, because if you play the what if game, the Kings could be the 2 seed.
No, it's just too long of a game, Chris. You ever play game night with your family?
Yeah.
All right, kids, we can't finish the game. It's time to go to bed.
No, I mean,
that's where we're at with games the Kings have tricked off that should have won.
Yes.
We can't even do we have a 4-hour show. We still don't have enough time to talk about all the games they should have won.
No, I'm telling you, I mean, it could I just randomly threw out there, Kings lose whatever X amount of games, they could be the 2 seed, but seriously, I mean, even if they just split the 4 New Orleans games and don't lose to Portland and Charlotte, they're 27-13, and that's exactly what the 2-seeded Oklahoma City Thunder are.
Wow.
So again, I mean, that's why you can't play the what if game, and that's why, I mean,
you are who you are, what your record says you are.
Exactly what your record says you are, and the Kings absolutely, I mean, if they would have won those games, we'd probably feel a whole lot different about this team. I mean, there's not as much of the ups and downs.
I don't think we're even looking at trades, maybe.
You're not wrong. I mean, if the Kings are the 2 seed and they're, pretty much locked into a top 4 seed at that point, I think we're going to say, wow, I mean, I honestly didn't think we would be this good, but that's how close the Western Conference is, but B, that's why it's so important to get those results, and those things end up biting you in the butt at the end of the year. You could say, it's just one of 82 and it's okay. Everybody has those nights, but man, some teams don't always have those nights, or it's about limiting those amount of nights. And at the end of the year, you look up and you see, we were only a game back of the 4 seed. Well, those are the kind of games, and those are the reasons why you end up that way. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know how we got here, but yeah, I think the Kings definitely to bring it all back to the original 6-7 in the last 13. I mean, man, it just feels like they can't. I don't know. It feels like this is almost a necessary evil in order to do what is needed. Because like you said, I mean, I don't even know if we're talking trades right now or at least that aggressive into trades if the Kings are getting the results, those 4 results that we just mentioned. And so, you know, this might have been the only way for it to get through to Monty McNair. No, you have to do something if you want to see any results.
Well, he hasn't done anything yet.
He sure hasn't. And as the days go by, man, it's making it worse and worse.
Yeah.
Like, you got to do this thing as soon as possible.
We need a timer. We need a timer until the trade deadline. All right, got to get to a break. We have that sound from Jason Anderson, also going to detail what Woj had to say. We've got about a Woj half hour with a lot that he said about Pascal going to Indiana and also what the Kings are looking for in a trade. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
The 2024 Honda Civic LX sedan from Elk Grove Honda offers all the safety, reliability, performance, and great gas mileage you've come to expect from Honda for all these years. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
If you're looking to move out of your parents' place, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive, which is good because your little brother has gotten really territorial. You're blood related. You'd think it would be fine to share food in the fridge. I mean, who writes their name on every individually wrapped slice of cheese, Tyler? Still, you've got to admire the commitment. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and use the savings to help you move out and have all the cheese you want. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Wendy's new breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles let you create your own delicious combo. Choose from a sausage biscuit, egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, and a medium hot coffee. But it's obvious which combo's the best. Sausage biscuit and small seasoned potatoes. Well, maybe it's the fresh cracked egg and cheese biscuit with a medium hot coffee. Or 2 savory sausage biscuits. Whichever you pick, you can't go wrong. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Single item at regular price.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
I tried to quit smoking cigarettes probably hundreds of times over the years. 2 or 3 days into quitting again, I go get into a vehicle and guess what? There's a pack of cigarettes in there. I mean, I've got the unlit cigarette in my hand. And I said to myself, why do I even try to quit if I'm going to cave so easily every time? Something clicked in my head that told me I can do this.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Oak Ridge Winery.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
De'Aaron Fox was not very happy, to put it lightly, after their loss to the Phoenix Suns.
Right.
And look,
After he dapped up KD.
Because
I've seen a lot of.
Okay, so it wasn't just me. You
No,
saw it too.
yeah, on socials, people are like, De'Aaron smiling, Malik talking with refs. And
Yeah.
a
The
lot of
Malik
people
talking
upset
with
about
refs was interesting because we've seen so much of Malik being the one to not complain to refs. Maybe he just means
I think
during
he's
the game.
trolling.
Right?
I think a large part of that is trolling also.
Trolling who?
The coaching staff.
Malik?
Yeah. Because, there was that clip during during training camp of Mike Brown yelling specifically at Malik to stop complaining to the referees, and Mike Brown saying, "If you keep doing that, I'm gonna lose my top."
Yeah.
And Malik has since then, at every single turn in media, said the coaches talk too much too. I got to talk to the coaches about talking to the refs too much. I got to reel it in. And then you see him laughing when Mike Brown gets ejected the other day, him holding him back. I think it's because Malik talks to the refs so much and the coaches tell him to stop talking to the refs that he's like, well, I'm going to keep that same energy with y'all. And so I think it's all a big troll in that sense.
Okay. Not sure if I love that timing, but all right.
I don't think him talking to the refs at the end of the game was a troll. I'm saying I think him not the perception that Malik doesn't talk to the refs is actually a troll because he's actually the one who talks to the refs the most.
Gotcha. We have here on the text line, and all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. From the 209, the Sacramento Kings are like a weather report.
Oh, man.
They are cold, but they're, quote, feels like temperature is much colder.
Oh, I thought they were going to say because we've been complaining about, just not. Yeah. It seems like meteorologists are just guessing out there.
Right.
Feels like every game it's like, tonight's perfect. It's Tyrese Halliburton's not playing. Oh, Bruce Brown's not playing. They don't have Siakam yet. Well, the Kings should win easy, right?
Yeah.
I'm forecasting a big Kings win today. And then they are just completely wrong and they lose by 30 and it's the worst loss of the season. So in that sense, I would say, yes, they're very much like the weather report.
I don't know if I'm trying to understand that.
Yeah,
the Kings are like a weather report. They are cold, but I think are they saying that they're not doing that bad, but it feels like they're doing worse, or the opposite?
I think they're saying that it looks bad, but when you really look into it, it's even worse. Like that's kind of how I'm reading at it. It's like, wow, that was a bad loss.
Yeah.
They're
Can you read it
cold.
one more time? Just
The Sacramento Kings are like a weather report. They are cold, but their feels like temperature is much colder.
I
So
just
to
think
me-
someone's trying too hard.
I think they're trying.
But
too
I think
hard.
there's something there,
There's
though.
There's something there. It's
There's
just
some,
not
I think
presented
I think we're on the
correctly.
right path.
I can give you a number
bad.
here.
They've been bad right now, but like Chris said, it's actually been even worse than you think. I think it's been bad thinking, oh, they lost 3 games.
Yes.
Does it have anything to do with like when the weather is wrong? Like saying that the Kings.
No,
will
I
be-
don't think
Okay.
so.
Okay, all right. I just want to because
I don't
That's
think
how
so.
That's a
that's how
comparison.
I would have phrased it, but
Yeah.
that's not how
I
this is
hear
being
you,
phrased.
209.
I think this is being phrased more so. I would say this stat probably backs up the cold. They are cold, but feels like. So the Kings are the 6th seed right now. They're flirting with the 7th seed. They were the 7th seed yesterday, and I think Dallas lost yesterday, which put them at the 7th seed. So the Kings' record is 23-17. But if you look on Basketball Reference, they have an expected win-loss rating or record, which is what typically, if you, with all the numbers you have, offense, defensive rating, and most importantly, point differential, the actual record you should have. So again, Kings 23-17. Their expected win-loss ratio or record is 20-20. So it's like the Kings 6-7 seed, and then their feels like temperature, their expected win-loss is actually a 500 team. So you think it's bad, but then it's like
That's how I'm.
the actual weather, like the actual in terms of what you're experiencing. I guess
It's worse than it looks. It's worse than it looks.
Yeah.
It's worse than it looks.
Yeah. We'll keep it
Because
as
there's
baseball
still
as possible.
it's worse than it looks.
Yeah.
Because they're still the 6th seed.
Yep.
They're still in position to go to the playoffs, but it's worse than it looks because of what's been going on. All right, let's hear from Jason Anderson, who did a great job on the Drive Guys yesterday, kind of laying it out on how everything went down after the Phoenix Suns game and him trying to track down De'Aaron Fox and what he noticed from the persona and the feeling in the locker room.
Well, it was tough. It was tough. The mood in the room was kind of shell-shocked by what happened to blow a 22-point lead over the last 8 minutes. You know, Malik had some choice words when he kind of uttered. He came into the locker room to get dressed, kind of uttered some words. He was pretty upset. Pointed the finger at himself to some extent with the turnovers. And I know everybody's talking about De'Aaron and kind of where he was at, and it was tough to he had this look in his eyes, and he just kind of sat there. He declined to speak like early on, like he's still in uniform, and usually we'll wait that out. But they're on a long road trip and trying to get home. I kind of asked him, if he wanted to talk real quick, and he just sort of waved me off at that point. And so I waited and wanted to catch him after, he had a chance to shower and get dressed and get ready to go. And even after all that time, you just kind of watch him sit there in the corner by himself, just absolutely silent, didn't say a word to anybody. And then, as he got up to leave, I asked again if we could talk for a minute. And again, he just kind of waved me off and left the room. And, I'm a little concerned about him. I don't want to overreact to any one loss, even as bad as that is. But, he's been going through it lately. He had, a little bit of a downturn where, I was a little worried about where he was at physically.
That's deep. That's a little bit deeper than I thought it would be, right? I mean, Jason Anderson obviously saying of the Sacramento Bee, thank you for being on the station. Obviously, he's saying he doesn't want to overreact,
right?
But
Sounds
clearly, this is a guy who's been around the team a lot.
Yes.
And he's seen the team lose, and when they lose, how they react. So this felt different to Jason is how I'm taking it. And I think it felt different because these last 2 games here, they had come out ready to go. Right, it hadn't been a lackadaisical effort. Right, it hadn't been. It had not been a situation where they weren't ready to go, which I think made it even worse.
Yeah,
and like we said, these last 3 games in a row, okay, these last 3 games in a row, they lost 3 different ways. And I don't know if there's another way to lose a basketball game. He did go on to say that after, I think after this game tonight, they have 3 days off, right? Or they don't play again till Monday.
Yeah,
they don't play again till Monday.
Yep.
So
Monday,
they'll have a little break. I know they'll probably practice.
And they don't play till Thursday.
And then they don't play till Thursday. So they'll get a little mini break here, get to reset and recalibrate. So you get this W, you beat the Hawks on Monday and get back on the right track. So, yeah, I think that was deep, and I think that's good to see because on social media, you see De'Aaron dapping up KD, you see Malik, and you're thinking, these guys don't care. And clearly they care almost to a fault. And I'm talking to myself as well because I've held them to that same standard. All right, get into a break. When we get back, Pascal Siakam, he chose Indy, and now all of a sudden he was always wanting to go to Indiana. We'll see what Woj has to say. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The divisional round of the NFL playoffs continues Saturday on Sactown Sports. First, it's the AFC's top seed Baltimore Ravens as they look to back up the league's best record when they host the upstart Houston Texans.
Then the 49ers start their postseason as they host the Green Bay Packers. Texans and Ravens at 1:30, Packers and 49ers at 5:15.
The NFL playoffs right here on your home for Super Bowl 58, Sactown Sports.
Did you know some ordinary cold medicines can raise your blood pressure?
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
You own a truck because you want to get the job done right. TruckSmart is your work truck headquarters. For over 35 years, they've been outfitting trucks for leading construction firms, service providers, and municipalities in the region. Truck racks, toolboxes, lighting, commercial shells, rhino lining, they've got it all. And their expert installers will get it done right the first time. So visit the truck experts at TruckSmart today with locations in Rockland and Auburn. They'll make your truck your favorite tool. TruckSmart.com.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. The Red and Gold seem to be as healthy as ever entering their first playoff game this weekend, using the first-round bye to their advantage. Running back Christian McCaffrey returned to practice Tuesday, taking the last 2 weeks off to rest an injured calf. Additionally, Sacramento native Eric Armstead is back practicing with the team and expects to play in his first game since Week 13. San Francisco opens their 2024 postseason against Green Bay, fresh off a dominant win over Dallas.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's indoor potting mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
The Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame induction celebration is back Sunday, February 4th at the brand new venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Join us as we induct the class of 2024. NBA champion Matt Barnes, All-Star James Donaldson, Major League Baseball's Nick Johnson and Leon Lee, and world champion triathlete Jamie Whitmore. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. For all info, go to SacSportsHOF.com.
Hi, this is Dusty Baker.
proud member of the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame. You have to be there to see it at Thunder Valley Casino.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Well, it's a new year, so the big question is what's happening at Hoblet for Chrysler? Start something new sales event.
Sadly, the end of an era is here. Dodge has stopped making the classic gas-powered Charger and Challenger, so this is your last chance to get your hands on some American muscle with that iconic V8 power. And now is the best time to buy because you can get up to $7,000 off MSRP and 0% financing for 72 months on new 2023 Dodge Charger SXT and Challenger GT.
Yeah, that's one of those things you hope they wouldn't do. Truly is the end of an era.
Yeah. And that means when they're gone, they're gone.
See their full selection when you search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
7,000 total net savings after 6,500 dealer discount and 500 factory rebate. Includes 500 first responder cash. Must be member of qualifying first responder program. Plus 0% financing for 72 months on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. 700 plus FICO score required. $1,389 per $1,000 borrowed and no payments for 90 days. 5 at this net savings. Sample VIN 648404.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Pascal Siakam is off to Indiana to play with Tyrese Halliburton, who the Kings might see tonight. Who knows?
Questionably.
He is questionable. Miles Turner, a new big three in the Big East. And Woj explained to Kevin Nagandi, T for Temple U. Hey, Woj explained why the Pacers felt like they could make this deal and how it's not as much of a gamble as maybe we thought.
Well, two really important reasons, Kevin. Start with the fact that Pascal Siakam is exactly what this Pacers team needs. A dynamic forward who can guard 4 positions, 2-time All-Star, played a significant role in that championship team in Toronto. Fits right into an Indiana team that is ahead of schedule with Tyrese Halliburton leading the way now for this organization. But just as importantly, though, Kevin, the confidence that Indiana has that they can re-sign Pascal Siakam to an extension this summer. Siakam has talked through this process with Tyrese Halliburton. The Pacers knew how much he wanted to play in Indiana. And Indiana had something over Toronto. They had cap space this summer. So if Siakam had gotten traded somewhere else, that team risked the possibility of Siakam just walking in free agency to Indiana. Now Indiana has him. They have a team in the East that is going to be dangerous.
Real quick, where is Woj from? What is his accent?
I don't know.
I know he for college he went to St. Bonaventure. I don't know if that helps.
Vaguely Canadian. Where's that at, Chris? Midwest?
I think it's on the East Coast. I think it's like a really small school on the East Coast.
Okay.
He's from Bristol. He's literally from Bristol, Connecticut.
His accent was just popping in that one. Sorry.
Okay.
So now all this stuff drops to where he's been. What is tampering? What is tampering?
I told you. I was like, literally, Pascal Siakam is having direct conversations. I knew that's exactly what the Kings thing was. I told you Alvin Gentry probably literally asked Pascal Siakam on the floor. Tampering does not exist in the NBA because Woj says it right there. He has been in communication with Tyrese Halliburton. There's tons of reports saying how, they've been talking for a while. Tyrese pretty much convinced him of the fit and saying, oh man, it would be great if us two pair together. I don't understand how this is not. I get it because it happens everywhere, but what are tampering rules for if we're just going to completely ignore them?
So, that makes a lot more sense now. So it's not a gamble at all. They knew that Pascal wanted to go. It was, and really, now I'm trying to think of how the Kings even got into the conversation, right? Because it's Pascal was having conversations. Did the Raptors know that Pascal was having conversations? I'm assuming they did.
Yeah.
So they were just trying to figure out, hey, can we convince you to go to Sacramento? And at that point, he said, did he already know he wanted to go to the Pacers when Sacramento got in the mix?
Yeah.
So Sacramento never really had
I'm sure
a chance.
he had a list of some sort.
So, yeah.
No, I mean, it sounds like, too, he had a list of I can't remember who. He had a list of players he wanted to play with. I can't remember who he said was his number one option, but he then had – it was like an elite – it might have been Joel Embiid or Giannis or something like that. And the reports are saying his number two was Miles Turner, which I have a tough time believing. But yeah, I mean, allegedly this dude has been okay with going to Indiana for a while. I would have to assume that the Kings' interest in this trade or involvement in this trade was always we're willing to take the risk, but only this much of a risk. And I think that's kind of as far as it got, is once it became hey, well, maybe Indiana is offering this and this. Would you guys maybe want to throw in? We heard, once Malik and Keegan kind of got thrown into the conversation, things stalled. Maybe the Kings were like, no, we said we're willing to take this amount of risk. And, ultimately, I just don't think it was going to work out here.
Yeah. So basically, the price tag to me for the Pacers makes a lot more sense.
Totally.
Because it's not a gamble.
No.
You've already set this up with Pascal. The deal isn't done, but he wants to go there. He's been talking to Tyrese already. They've already discussed the fit. So that price tag, the Kings were never going to match that because we're not getting the same promises that Pascal has.
We're also not in the same situation either. Again, like if the Kings were to make that Pascal move, what possible assets do they have to make another? I mean, Indiana's in a position where, they get rid of those 3 first-round picks. They get rid of Bruce Brown. They still have Nembhard. They still have Neesmith. They still have Ben Mathurin. They still have Buddy Hield. They still have Jalen Smith. They still have Miles Turner. They still have other guys that if they feel like they want to make a move or this Pascal thing isn't enough in the future, they can make another move. The Kings were in a spot where you trade HB, you trade Davion Mitchell, you trade Kevin Huerter, you send them 1 or 2 first-round picks. How do you get better after that? There is no other path. So like you said, I think Indiana was also just in a better position to make that move, and the Kings never really were in a good position to go all in unless they felt like this was the absolute right move to make. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's over now.
It's definitely over now.
Yeah, it's over now. Now from Indiana, the Pacers now have 2 All-Stars. Trade is the only way for Indiana to get a talent like Siakam. They are still a good young team that has a legit scoring wing who adds defensive versatility. Indiana can still move on from Buddy, Miles Turner, Jalen Smith, Nembhard, Neesmith, or Mathurin. Yeah, and maybe they don't want to. I mean, if you're really trying to level up, now it becomes, and you had thrown out the name, what do they need, right? If you're in Pacers land, what do they need? And this isn't a Pacers show, but Zach LaVine, I don't know. Do you want a Zach LaVine? Now it feels like we're getting into there's only one ball territory.
Sure.
So I just don't know. I just don't know who is in need of a Zach LaVine, right?
Not at that price tag.
Not at that price tag.
Lakers, I guess.
I'd make the argument if you are the Pacers, you might be in the market for Caruso because their defense is trash.
Yeah.
So
and
maybe
you just lose a Bruce Brown too.
Right. So maybe you get a Caruso, dare I say, okay, you got guys who can score at certain levels. Is that the last dance for DeRozan?
Mm-hmm.
Get some guy who can hit mid-range.
Sure.
I guess you kind of have that with Siakam already, but yeah, just depends on what direction they want to go. But I think they're looking at the East and saying, hey, we can be kind of the OKC of the East and start to roll here.
Sure.
Because and it's a different situation. The powers that be in the East aren't going anywhere, right? The Bucks aren't going anywhere. The Celtics aren't going anywhere. So you might as well level up and try to compete with them. And maybe that timeline, maybe you'll be apexing as they're going off in the sunset. You can't really do that in the West because you got the old dogs and you got the young dogs, right? So the Kings are kind of stuck to say, all right, well, the old dogs are kind of on their way out, but they're still, if the Clippers are one of the old dogs, you're still worried about them. They still got some years to go here. And then you have OKC coming. So yeah, the moves that need to be made, we will continue to monitor all that. And we have some in this Woj kind of half hour. We have some more information from Woj as to what the Kings may be looking for. We will get into that when we get back, and that will actually be after we speak with Brad Graham of the SF Niners. So we'll do Brad Graham the next 2 segments, and then we'll go back into NBA talk. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
No teams have faced each other more in playoff history than the San Francisco 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. That record-setting 10th meeting is Saturday night as the top seed 49ers look to move to the NFC Championship, while Green Bay is seeking their second consecutive upset.
Join Greg Papa and Tim Ryan for The Call, Saturday at 5:15 on your home for the San Francisco 49ers, Sactown Sports.
San Francisco!
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense, can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Start learning a new language today at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
The first time I tried to quit vaping, I told myself that it was like a mountain that I had to climb over. And once I got to the other side, it would be clear. But I couldn't make it over. What really got me to quit was my little sister. I saw her vaping. So I was back in the mountain, but this time she was up there with me. It's weird what you can do for others that you won't do for yourself.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
The Niners taking on the Green Bay Packers in Santa Clara. And, at first it was, all right, the Niners are going to blow out the Packers. And it's still like that for me. But a lot of people are starting to say, hey, Packers are that hot team. And we do this every year, right? Because somebody's got to win the wild card game. And whoever wins the wild card game then gets the momentum headed into play the team that didn't have to play the wild card game because they've been better than those teams all season long. And we are joined by our guy, friend of the station, Brad Graham of SF Niners, YouTube, Twitter. It's everywhere you need it. Social media, Instagram, everywhere you need it. Brad's got it. Brad, thank you for joining us.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me. And I'm really excited about seeing this red hot Packers team come into Levi's Stadium. I don't know if you guys saw it. Nick Wagner put out of ESPN that it's about 97% projected 49er fans. Hey, 49er fans, get up for this team. And I'm really excited to see how the Packers hold up against the red and gold faithful.
Yeah, before we even get to the X's and O's, and I know you might not be too objective here, but even starting off from the beginning of the season with the Steelers, that's Pittsburgh, that's blue collar. We are a football town. The Niners take over everywhere they go. Are they kind of low key the strongest fan base in the NFL?
Oh, I think so, 100%. I mean, I went to the Rams game week 2 at SoFi Stadium, or better known by the fan base as Levi's South.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. It had to be 90% 49er fans. And I've been kind of talking about this on my channels and stuff like this, but it's like, I think we are having a momentum shift. We understand the Cowboys are considered the America's team, but I mean, when you look at the 49er faithful and how broad they are nationally, even worldwide, you go back to last year's game in Mexico City, 49er fans are everywhere. Hey, maybe, the Cowboys can hold on to that moniker, but if the 49ers win a Super Bowl, I think we might have to have a conversation.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. And like you said, even, Cowboys, like last year in the playoffs, when they showed up at Jerry World, it was insane. And yeah, I mean, the Niners definitely have a massive fan base, but Packers definitely do too. And that's why definitely that Wagner tweet out yesterday was just crazy to see. Another thing that I was really surprised to see yesterday come out, Trent Williams saying he's 100% coming back for next year. What were your thoughts on that? Did that surprise you, just mainly the timing of it, for him to come out early and say, doesn't really matter if we win a Super Bowl or not this year, he's coming back? How good is that to hear, and how surprising was that?
I mean, for me personally, as a former offensive lineman and an O-line connoisseur, Trent Williams to me is the best offensive lineman to ever play. And the fact that he plays for the San Francisco 49ers is just another added element to it. And I would be lying to you if I said I didn't have any doubt about him returning next year. I do think there was some questions, especially with how he ended his press conference after last season, kind of bringing it up like, I'm getting to that age where maybe retirement is something that you start to think about. The fact that he squashed that, put that to bed, said he's 100% returning next year, regardless if the 49ers win the ultimate prize or they fall short, he will be back next season. And that is absolutely huge because, like I said, not only is he the best offensive lineman playing in the NFL today, I think he's the best offensive lineman to ever play. Just how he is changing the game from a technical aspect of playing O-line like a defensive lineman, using games with his hands, manipulating defenders by baiting them into certain things. It's phenomenal. We already know he's athletically superior over every other offensive lineman, but he's the smartest offensive lineman on top of that. So the fact that he's returning next year, huge sigh of relief for me, and I'm sure many 49er fans when they heard that as well.
Talking to Brad Graham of the SF Niners. Find him on YouTube, find him on X, Twitter, social media, Instagram, everywhere to get your Niners needs. Great content, one of the biggest Niners platforms going right now. All right, we gave you enough time, Brad. It's time to have the conversation. We know you can't go more than, 5 minutes without talking about Brock Purdy. We're hearing some crazy talk. And look, Brad, I know we follow each other on social media. Where I stand with Brock is I do feel like some of the Niner fans are holding on to this underdog thing for a little bit too long. Brock got his respect. He was an MVP candidate for a little bit here. And I get on Niner fans because everybody just loves to be the underdog. But then I see what people are saying from Packer fans to Amy Trask and just not giving Brock his flowers. And I got to walk it back and I got to apologize to Niner fans to say, all right, maybe there's still some people out there. I'm not counting the Nick Wrights of the world, but maybe there are some people still out there not realizing what Brock is doing and what he brings to the table. Where would you can either rank him amongst the other QBs or just give us your take on Brock Purdy heading into his second playoff run?
I think what Brock Purdy has done in basically a season and a half has been absolutely remarkable. And I don't think there's any discrediting what Brock Purdy has done. Now, if you're looking at this from an outside perception, I can totally understand if you're not watching every single play of Brock Purdy and you look at the weapons that he has, the George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Steve, you can make that assumption. Well, it's like, oh, he's playing with Kyle Shanahan. He's getting a lot of help. But I think, if I speak for myself, who is someone who studies the tape, I've watched every single play of Brock Purdy throughout his career. He does the small things so exceptionally well that it almost gets glossed over. You talk about his presence in the pocket, his ability to sidestep pressure, create enough space, and find a passing lane, and also manipulate coverages with his eyes. Brock Purdy does all the small things to elevate the offense and elevate the players around him. I mean, look at Brandon Ayuk. He is a second-team All-Pro player. And he almost reached 1,400 receiving yards this season. What a remarkable feat in an offense that has all of those players and is one of the lowest ranked passing attempt, per game offenses in the league. And so I understand from an outside perspective, but I think if you actually watch Brock play, I think it's easy to put him in that top 10 category. I think when you look at everything he's been able to do, the way he escapes pressure, the way he reads defenses pre and post. I mean, you look at that one play against the Commanders where he's scrambling out, he's pointing to Brandon Ayuk in the back of the end zone, and he hits him on a dime. You can't look at those things and say that's a system quarterback. That's it. He's making plays outside of structure consistently, but he's also playing within structure at an extremely high level. So I can understand the outside perspective. We heard from that Green Bay's Packer defender, oh, well, if you get pressure on Brock Purdy, guaranteed to get an interception. Well, Brock Purdy happens to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL this year when pressured. So if you watch the tape, and again, I would imagine he's watched some tape and he's looked at it, but if you're studying this thing and you're really watching Brock play, he is a baller. And not only is he a baller, but he's elevating his players, he's elevating the scheme, and it's a perfect fit for what Kyle Shanahan requires of his scheme. And that's why it's just a match made in heaven right now.
Brad, yeah, I mean, you mentioned Kyle Shanahan there, and I'm sorry I have to ask this question, but I feel like I do. Kyle's got this history that's followed him of really just overthinking game plans, more so in the bigger games. I don't think it's really a concern for a week like this or maybe even next week, but I mean, more specifically in the big one, Kyle's kind of gotten a bad rap of maybe over game planning or overthinking the game plan. Do you still think Kyle has that in him, or has he gone through enough now to where even he understands like you can maybe put too much work into this?
I think before Brock Purdy was around, I think Kyle was trying to overcompensate for maybe his previous quarterbacks, maybe lack of ability to do certain things within his scheme. And so it would kind of force him to press a little bit on the offensive side of the ball. But I really do think that Kyle has evolved this season. And I do think in part due to having a quarterback that he fully trusts. And I think that combination is allowing him to be more aggressive. I think we've seen him go for it on fourth down on more occasions this season than in years past. And I think he's putting the ball in his quarterback's hands to be able to make the decisions on the field. And I think that's allowing Kyle to call games more freely and be able to handle situations a little bit more organically, if that makes sense, like opposed to being so rigid in certain beliefs and certain down and distances and what have you. I think there's a freedom that having a quarterback like Brock and obviously a supporting cast that allows him to be more creative and be more aggressive. And I do think that he has made big steps forward this season and certain down and distances and the way he's calling certain things. So I understand definitely how he's handled some situations in the past, but I do feel like we have seen an evolution to Kyle this year. And I think that's been one of my favorite developments of this season.
Yeah, I think a couple players have talked about the growth of Kyle Shanahan as a head coach and how he's been handling the team. So it's just growth all around, which is good for the Niners. Talking to Brad Graham of the SF Niners. Find him on YouTube. Subscribe to him. Follow him. If you're not doing that and you're a Niners fan, I don't know what exactly it is you are doing. All right, Brad, let's get to the Packers side of things. Obviously, I think the line is still 8. I don't think it's moved anymore. It was 9.5 when they finished off the Cowboys, even though Kyle Shanahan was already preparing in the second quarter. What about the Packers does worry you when it comes to them facing off against the Niners?
I think if we have to discuss what potentially worries me, I think you have to look at the fact that they have a pretty dynamic quarterback right now in Jordan Love. And, as we've seen, even this year, you saw what Joe Burrow did to the San Francisco 49ers defense, his ability to escape the pocket and make throws outside of structure or buying just extra time. I think if you've been a 49er fan for a while, you're kind of you have this predetermined notion that mobile quarterbacks are kind of like our Achilles heel based on how the past has gone. And so when you look at a guy like Jordan Love, who has all the arm talent in the world, he has the ability to do things that, like, let's say a Brock Purdy can't do just simply because Jordan has phenomenal arm talent.
Yeah, Brad, some of those throws, it looked like he was studying Aaron Rodgers' tape. I mean, the flat footed, he's not even supposed to do stuff like that.
He did like a 180 hip flip mid-air,
crazy.
dime 30 yards downfield up the seam. I'm like, who is this guy?
Right.
So those are the things I think that would worry me is that we understand that if the 49ers defensive line isn't generating pressure within those first 2 seconds, that's where other quarterbacks with immense arm talent can find some holes within our defense. So that's really the only concern, but that puts a huge emphasis on your Nick Bosa's, Javon Hargrave. They get Eric Armstead back, which is such a huge get for that defensive line. And Chase Young, if you can create pressure rushing 4 on Jordan Love, I think that is going to be a huge emphasis on how you can slow down this offense. Because when we saw them against the Cowboys, I mean, Love was playing out of his mind. The offense was playing great. Aaron Jones was feeding off of it with his 3 touchdowns. And when they get into that rhythm, that's where teams can be dangerous. And I think where the 49ers need to insert is that rhythm. Being able to get after Jordan Love and move him off his spot, mess up his timing, and all those different types of things.
Right. Yeah. We're talking with Brad Graham of the SF Niners. Brad, on top of the Jordan Love conversation there, I know Alan kind of asked you a little bit about it, but I'm gonna make you give the list. You can leave Brock out of it, but just the other NFC quarterbacks. I mean, where would you rank them right now with Goff, Mayfield, and Jordan Love? Do you feel like the Niners are playing the best quarterback in the NFC, not named Brock Purdy right now?
I think Baker Mayfield has been playing phenomenal ball this year.
Absolutely.
But I do think that if you have Jared Goff in a clean pocket in front of his, probably the best offensive line in football, he can make you pay. And I'm a Cal fan, so I watched all of Jared Goff's career. I know who Jared Goff is, and I know how deadly he can be, but I also know you can affect him with pressure. So then you kind of translate that into Jordan Love. Jordan Love's kind of an unknown in a sense. Like I'm still kind of scouting him and still trying to learn his tendencies. And so I would say it might have to be. It's really close. Goff, Love, Baker. But just because I know more about Goff than and Love, this is his first season. They're playing with house money. They have nothing to lose. They're super hot right now. It'll be interesting to see what happens when he has Nick Bosa breathing down his neck and see how he reacts in these situations. This is going to be, I mean, he passed the test against the Cowboys. Now, let's see if he can do it against the 49ers.
Talking to Brad Graham of the SF Niners. Subscribe to his YouTube. Follow him on social media. Brad, from the beginning of the season, I think a lot of us thought that this Niners team was fully loaded, right? Offensive, defensive. The problem here now, and it's not just Moody, the special teams, it reminds me of that meme. I don't know if you've seen it, with the 3 dragons, and the 2 dragons look like they know what they're doing, and the 3rd dragon is kind of looking off into the other direction. How worried are you about the special teams of the San Francisco 49ers?
That is a phenomenal visual. I know exactly what you're talking about. I think you might have hit it on the head. Yeah, I think, when you look at Moody's year as a whole, I think you can say he played pretty well. You look at the Browns game, and then you look at that last game against the Rams, and that's kind of why we're all kind of concerned about Jake Moody's, because he missed a field goal and missed a PAT directly after. And I think our concerns with Jake Moody heading into the season were never ability-based. It was kind of confidence-based.
Right.
And I think when you look at the kicker position, I mean, you look at pressure-packed situations, whether it's quarterback, whether it's a kicker's up there, man, because they get put in those situations where they got one job, and it's to kick a field goal and make points for your team, and half the time it comes in big time situations. So is there a level of concern there? Yes, but I do think, again, if your 49ers offense is doing what we think they should do against this Packers defense, I don't think Moody will have to be put into those situations where we necessarily have to rely on him. But we know what it is. It's the playoffs. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. And who knows if this game comes down to a 45-yard field goal to tie or win it. I know 49er fans are going to be sweating, but I do believe that Jake Moody has the ability. It's just, can he lock in for that moment and get the job done?
Yeah, Brad, last week we were talking about, the departure of Adam Peters, and just kind of how it's another name added to the list of really important Niner personnel that have left, whether it be Robert Saleh, D'Amico Ryans. You have Rand Carthon even, and McDaniel over in Miami. How much does the Adam Peters departure worry you, and how much more, vulturing really can the Niners take?
I had great respect for Adam Peters as the assistant general manager for the 49ers and what he's done, because from my understanding of his role within the organization was big emphasis in the draft and really being able to identify and hit on late round draft prospects. I mean, you look at Talanoa Hufanga, 5th round pick, turning into an all-pro. George Kittle, Dre Greenlaw. You can throw Brock Purdy into that mix. I mean, Fred Warner's the best linebacker in the NFL, and he's a former 3rd-round draft pick. The 49ers have found a ton of success, not only in the late round of the draft, but in free agency, man. Like, you look at Emmanuel Mosley and what they were able to get out of him with his time with the San Francisco 49ers, being able to hit on guys like Elijah Mitchell, who is a really good back when healthy and available, Jordan Mason, et cetera. And the list goes on and on, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how the 49ers overcome that. But I do believe organizationally they're structured properly to be able to have someone waiting in the wings to kind of take over that role. And from everything that I've learned and have heard about the inner workings of that part of the organization, they're very collaborative. So I'm going to miss Adam Peters and what he brought to this franchise, but I also do believe because of the collaborative structure, they'll be able to pick up the pieces and they'll be able to continue the similar thought processes and evaluations and key points that he was able to hit on and they will continue that process moving forward.
Brad Graham of the SF Niners. If you're not following him on all the social media platforms and YouTube, you are not doing your fandom right. Brad, before we get you out of here, we do something for the Kings. It's called Dog of the Game, right? And it's where we pick whoever we think is going to be a dog in that game. So we're going to do an SF Niners version, a San Francisco Niners version. Who do you think is going to ball out on Sunday? You can pick anybody. Or Saturday. You can pick anybody for their dog of the game. Who do you got for the Niners?
Well, as I'm looking at the Packers' 28th ranked rush defense, I'm going to have to go with one of the biggest dogs on the San Francisco 49ers, and that's Christian McCaffrey, man. Yeah. You get a healthy Christian McCaffrey who hasn't taken a hit in almost a month. Get some fresh legs in there, and I mean, I can see him right over your right shoulder there. If you're watching on YouTube,
that's right. That's right.
I think CMC is going to be that dog, right? Like he's going to be that guy that the 49ers are going to be able to lean on in this game. The weather might be a factor, and if that is the case, put the ball in CMC's hands and let the dogs eat.
There you go, Brad Graham of the SF Niners. Brad, thank you so much. Let's do this again, man. This is great. Like I said, follow Brad Graham on all social media platforms. If you're not following him, subscribe to him on YouTube. You better figure it out and do it right now. Brad Graham, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again. Have a good rest of your week.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
all right,
Brad.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, we will not only rank the NFC quarterbacks, we will rank the AFC quarterbacks. And a little bit later in the show, we'll get back into some Kings talk as they get ready to take on the Pacers. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sunday on Sactown Sports, 2 more teams will punch their tickets to the conference championships. The Detroit Lions get another home game as they host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then it's Mahomes versus Allen as the Chiefs battle the Bills in Buffalo.
Bucs and Lions Sunday at noon, followed by Chiefs and Bills at 3:30.
Get all your NFL playoff action on your home of Super Bowl 58. Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
California's largest sportsman's expo is back Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo. Bring the family and discover your next adventure. Buy the latest gear, find the best destinations, learn from the experts in fishing and hunting. On the weekend, visit the Giant Youth Fair. Free entry for youth 15 and under. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
The divisional round of the NFL playoffs continues Saturday on Sactown Sports. First, it's the AFC's top seed Baltimore Ravens as they look to back up the league's best record when they host the upstart Houston Texans.
Then the 49ers start their postseason as they host the Green Bay Packers. Texans and Ravens at 1:30, Packers and 49ers at 5:15.
The NFL playoffs right here on your home for Super Bowl 58, Sactown Sports.
Hey everybody, it's Kyle Draper, your boy Drapes for Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Now, if you've been on the fence about buying your first electric luxury car, it's time to get off the fence and go see my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. I'm challenging you. Test drive any Mercedes-Benz fully electric car or SUV, and you will fall in love. In fact, my new Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV is out in the parking lot right now. You know, I had a Tesla before this, but once I got the Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV, it felt like a brand new driving experience. It's on an entirely different level. Now, here's what I love about my EQS SUV. First of all, from the moment I sit in it, I feel like I'm stepping in a world of luxury. Plus, it's easy charging, and it has heated seats and cooling seats as well. It's an ultimate driving experience. I urge you, go see my friends at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. They're just 30 minutes from Sacramento. They're right off of I-5. Or, of course, you can always go online at mbfstockton.com.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Oak Ridge Winery.
The PGA club fitters at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio know that golf should be fun. They also know that players of all abilities will hit the ball farther and straighter, play better golf, shoot lower scores, and have more fun if they get fitted before they purchase golf clubs. Hagen Oaks delivers the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA professionals. See how the game can be even more fun. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The 2024 Honda Civic LX sedan from Elk Grove Honda offers all the safety, reliability, performance, and great gas mileage you've come to expect from Honda for all these years. With anti-lock brakes, tire pressure monitoring system, backup camera, and Honda safety sensing package including collision mitigation braking system, you can see why a sporty, redesigned Civic from Elk Grove Honda gives you a lot for your money. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from in the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Thank you again to Brad Graham of the SF Niners for hanging with us for about 30 minutes there. We will have it posted on YouTube if you want to check that out. If you missed it, if you were driving, if you were dropping the kiddos off, if you were grocery shopping, we will have that posted on YouTube to hear that segment. It was great stuff. It'll probably be reused in the Drive Guys in the morning show.
Probably.
Great stuff from
maybe
Brad.
Even on ESPN.
Maybe that as well. Great stuff from Brad. Like I said, go on. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel and reach out and connect with him on social media. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, about to rank the quarterbacks here. But before we do that, 916-339-1140, JR wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, JR? What you got for us?
What's up, ladies? How are you?
Fantastic.
How you guys doing today?
Great
segment. I was in a big $1 billion deal, but I was listening at the same time. I would not waste my time shopping or whatever you just referenced.
Appreciate it.
I'll tell you right now, Brad's the real deal. He brings content. I think I've said this before. What a great segment that is.
Good stuff.
Incredible.
Yeah.
No, he's great.
It is. And hey, guess what? Niners are America's team. It was voted on earlier this month.
Mhm.
I think there was at least 12, 15 votes, and it was proven that 100% we are now America's team. So, Cowboys, you can go ahead and go south to Mexico City or something because we are America's team. And then your analogy, though, dude, with the three dragon meme,
right?
Defense, all dead on. It made us all laugh out loud down here downtown. I spit my coffee at. I'm like, that is exactly it. And if Moody wants to help me out, just shave the damn mustache at least, so I feel confident when he kicks it, it's going to actually go through the friggin' upright. And yes, he has great stats, but God, he hit on the head. We're all going to be sweating bullets.
Yeah.
If by any chance, and I don't, everyone's pointing to it. I don't know if it happens this game, but boy, he's not our boy that just left, our Chicago kid.
Yeah, no.
Jimmy?
Jimmy. He's not Jimmy. He's not Kofor. If you're a real fan, you knew Norton back in the day. So he's just not one of the kickers that I love going into the playoffs. But feel pretty confident. I'm buying my NFC Championship tickets right now. So
You should.
that's how confident I am. That's what I should do, huh? Wet blanket.
You definitely should.
You want to come with me? I don't sit among the comment people. I sit up top and look down.
We're more Super Bowl guys. We'll go if they go to the Super Bowl. But
right.
NFC, you've been there, done that. You know.
And guess what? Super Bowl and being in Vegas, you might as well mark the calendar. That's the last day of the world. The world ends when they have the Super Bowl in Vegas. We are all, as a human race, in trouble.
It's going to be.
You guys rock. See ya, girls.
Thanks, JR.
Thanks,
Appreciate
JR.
it.
Yeah.
The Moody thing does kind of give me, I'm sorry, Niner fans, it does give me a little bit of vibes of Kings free throws this year, offensive rebounding issues for the Kings last year, where it's one of those things that shows up in the regular season, and you just hope that's not how you die, man. You really hope that's not the death.
I don't think it will be.
It could be, though. It really could be.
You know what? If you're a Niner fan, I would be hoping that the Niners get an early touchdown. I would rather him kick an extra point first before a field goal.
I agree.
Oh, yeah,
and you kind of warm up into it, you get your extra point, and then you're rock and rolling. He's got to make it, but
that is a great analogy. He did miss one against the Rams
I know.
too. That is a good analogy. The only thing I'd say is that the free throws are on the entire team, not just one dude. You see all that
For
pressure
sure.
on one dude, and you get scared.
Yeah, no, I
As a
more just
Niners
mean like
fan.
it's a foreshadowing moment where it's
Yeah.
like you see the Kings miss all these free throws, and it's like one day, even though you guys are getting wins, one day this is going to come back and bite you. And last year, that Knicks game, I think the Knicks got like 20 offensive rebounds, but the Kings still win the game, and it's like still seems a little bit concerning that we just allowed 20 offensive rebounds, and it's just like, it's great that we got through the season. Moody looked great. You had some moments at the end of the year where looking a little shaky. This is, you just really, honestly, I mean, even coming from a alleged hater here, like it would be really sad if that's what ends up ruining what is a pretty perfect Niner team.
Well, let's talk about it then, right? I mean, we talked about Adam Peters. We talked about John Lynch and all the good work they've done throughout the draft. What do you think possessed them? And I know Jake Moody was dead red at Michigan, but we saw this thing. Can't forget our guy in Florida State, Aguayo, right?
Yeah.
Who, I think he was picked even higher, right? And I don't know how long he even ended up in the league.
I don't think a year.
So, what possessed them to think that this was the right move to be set up all throughout the rest of your roster? Okay. And even, Brock Purdy, you had seen a sample size and you felt like it was enough to move forward with him. And you still had a bit of an emergency backup plan.
Sure did.
With Sam Darnold. So what do you think was their thought process? And Trey Lance. What do you think was their thought process when it comes to, we are a Super Bowl ready team? And I don't know how many people looked this up. A Super Bowl winning team with a rookie kicker.
Maybe Nate can give more perspective on that. I mean, my guess would just be, and it doesn't really make sense even. It's just kind of the same risk as running Brock Purdy out. I mean, even then, I guess it's more of a risk even, but it's just, when you're in, it's weird because kickers aren't getting bagged out or anything. Even Robbie Gould at 40 is not going to get bagged out. So you can't really say it's part of the cost cutting moves. You're affording all these guys. Maybe you got to go cheap somewhere.
Yeah, gotta go cheap kicker.
But, it feels like you probably still could have brought back Robbie Gould. I don't know how much kickers make, but I can't imagine it's really hurting your salary cap that much. I really don't know. Nate, do you have?
Yeah, I got some info.
Yeah.
So I have the info on that rookie kicker question. Robbie Gould officially retired a few weeks ago, he's not. I don't think he's been on the.
But
radar.
we heard some rumblings at the golf tournament in Tahoe, right? That he was upset.
He didn't
about
want
the
to.
kicking
Yeah,
situation.
but I think it was a financial thing.
Okay.
And I think it was an age thing because he turned 40, and it's just
Right.
like, yeah, man, I don't know if this is where we want to be spending our money and investing in the future with Moody.
And it was about distance kicks too, right? Because Robbie's great from inside 50.
Another huge thing was Robbie was not doing kickoffs. Mitch Wisnowski was doing kickoffs.
Sure.
So that was an issue about place. They didn't feel comfortable with him being the kickoff guy, Mitch Wisnowski. So Jake now does it all.
Wow.
But I'd like to say, Alan, you asked about teams that have won the Super Bowl with a rookie kicker. I want to start off with the most recent one was not winning, but the Bengals made it with Evan McPherson. He made all postseason tries, all 14. But then the Eagles in 2017, Jake Elliott was a rookie. 2012, unfortunately, Justin Tucker was a rookie. And then the farthest I'm going back here is Steven Gostkowski for the Patriots in 06.
So it's not uncommon.
It's not uncommon.
No, it's not the most crazy. It's not crazy.
Yeah.
It's not a crazy thing.
Well, were any of those games won? Well, yeah. So those guys all won, right? They're all Super Bowl winners.
I mean, those are all
McPherson,
close games. Like the 2017 game with the Eagles Patriots was close the whole time. I know there was field goals in that. 2012, I remember that game. Unfortunately, I wish I could black it out like the halftime was blacked out. But that game was obviously close. I remember at the end it came down to running out of the end zone for a safety for Baltimore, and then Gostkowski. I can't remember. 06, that must have been the Eagles too, right? No,
06
Patriots.
What's that?
No, Patriots Bears, right?
No.
06?
Steelers defeated the Seahawks in 06.
Okay. It says the 2006 Patriots trusted rookie Steven Gostkowski. So
there you go.
I might be wrong on that one then.
Maybe
But
it's
the
the
other two are
06, 07
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Who
yeah,
knows?
yeah. Okay.
Well, the bottom line is that it's not that unheard of. They feel comfortable. And like I said, you go in, you march down the field, you get a touchdown, have them kick an extra point, and I think everything is all good. Your first kick is a 45-yard field goal because you stalled and the Packers were able to stop you, and he doinks that or double doinks that. Now you got a problem, right? I think it's very much you see one go in, you shoot a 3-pointer, you see one go in, and you're feeling good about it, right? Or free throw is probably it's closer to a free throw than a 3-pointer.
Sure.
But at least you get 2 tries in free throws. Right. So it's a very specific free throw.
Yeah, it's like a technical free
It's
throw.
like a technical free throw or a high pressure free throw every time. Because some free throws, I mean, De'Aaron's missing in the second quarter. What does De'Aaron always say? I make them when it counts. Well, we
sure doesn't.
We
detailed
what
that
was it? 12 of 20.
12 of 20, 60%.
12 of 20 makes it when it counts. But even so, you're going to get multiple opportunities.
Yeah.
Moody, not so much. And again, ultimate team sport. We just did all this work to get to field goal range, and then just one random dude messes it up for us. So yeah,
That's the
will
breaks.
hopefully it does
That's how
not
it
come back
goes.
to bite them because they are so stacked everywhere else. When we get back, we played this game before and we're gonna play it again. Who is this or where is that texter from? I'm gonna read a text that just came in, and we have to guess where they're from and or which team they root for. And texter, if you feel like responding back, please do. But we're going to guess. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
At Elk Grove Honda, not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned certified cars at very fair prices, but every one of our pre-owned automobiles are treated with kid gloves with a 182-point inspection that covers everything from unibody to tires to brakes and engine filters. Then our certified cars receive a mobile oil change and fresh fill-up with full synthetic mobile oil. We know you have lots of choices of where to purchase your next car. Come to Elk Grove Honda, home of the 182-point inspection and mobile oil change. We're in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
In the shag bag, if you want to become better at golf, maybe consider moving to the southern parts of the United States. According to the USGA, 8 out of 10 states with the lowest average handicap are situated either along or near the country's southern border. Lowest handicap is Mississippi with an average of 11.6. California comes in 35th with average handicap of 17.1. Where do you fit? Want to gain another 20 yards off the tee? Move up another set of tees. Don't let your ego get in the way. Each of us can only hit the ball so far. If you're not reaching the par fours in 2 shots, go ahead and move up a tee. You'll make more pars and a birdie or two, and your enjoyment will go up twofold. Meredith Lebeck, Director of Player Development at Granite Bay, says you can sharpen your putting skills by playing a game similar to horse on the putting green. Each person putts with the person closest to the hole winning and the others in the group getting the first letter, such as a G in the word golf. Spell golf, and you're out. Try it. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore. Great selection, great factory financing and incentive. And great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
We have text of the day. Who do they root for? Okay, I'm going to read this text. We have to figure out who they root for. Everybody, please chime in, be a part of the conversation. So this text, the last time we did this, I think, was when somebody was saying, somebody wanted me, and I'll never forget, this was one of my favorite, I think, situations when somebody was trying to tell me to leave. I think we were still in our first month doing the show, and somebody said, "Hey, Stiles, you need to leave Sacramento." And that text was from the 510.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite clips of the show.
Is that the South Bay?
The 510 is Oakland.
Oakland.
So it was hilarious to me. And I don't know if this one will trump it, but here we go. This is from the 209. Brock is the perfect example of a system QB. Exclamation points. Why did he go 0-3 without his toys? Well, one of those games was because of Jake Moody. 5, 6 question marks after that question. Look for them to crumble again, once again in a big playoff game. That is from the 209. Brock is the perfect example of a system QB. Why did he go 0-3 without his toys? Look for them to crumble once again in a big playoff game.
Bitter Raiders fan.
So we have 2 Raiders. We don't think, okay, we're going Raiders?
That's Raiders.
Is that simple?
That sounds Raiders.
I'm saying 209 Niner hate that strong using system quarterback arguments.
Yeah.
Sounds like Raiders.
Could be Cowboys fan.
I was going to say, could be Cowboys
fan.
Could
a lot
be
of Cowboys.
Cowboys.
And then, Chris, you said yesterday, sneaky Packers fans all over. There's like
What about
5
Seahawks?
teams. No, bro.
Okay.
We don't.
There's no Seahawks
They don't live in California.
Okay. So we have 2 Raiders. I'm going to say you're a Cowboys fan, 209. Please respond and let us know who you are a fan of.
Respectfully.
Yeah. Respectfully.
Yeah.
Rams? Can I get a Rams?
I don't think so.
They don't care. A Rams fan doesn't care enough.
There's
to
one
text
Rams fan, and his name's Scott Marsh, and he's downstairs. That's it.
Scott? Is that 209?
He talks the most trash. I don't
Does
get
he
it.
really?
He'll talk trash to me, and I'm like, Scott,
I love
chill.
that. Come on, Scott. I love it.
I mean, I love that because
That's
I've
great.
never met a Rams fan.
Yeah. I didn't think they existed. I thought they moved to LA to get fans.
Yeah, and I think Scott was I mean, he supported them even when they were insane. Like, I don't think it's a new thing.
No, it's
I don't
not.
think it can be.
It is funny when he's wearing Niners gear, though, because he has to deal with the station. He's a salesperson here. So I'll see him wearing a Niners polo, and I'm like, what's up with that, Scott?
I'm trying to remember when the Rams won the Super Bowl. I feel like that parade wasn't very lit.
No. In LA, there's a million.
I
They
don't-
had to go watch Kim Kardashian go into a restaurant or something that night. They
I
don't
don't
care.
remember anything about it. I don't remember anything about that.
No drunk
parade at
mishaps.
all.
Like the Denver Nuggets was way more
Oh, yeah.
memorable. And they're probably a less identifiable sports franchise.
I mean, sometimes I forget that the Rams won it in 2022. I feel like so much has happened.
Yeah.
And it wasn't fluky because they were legit.
They were legit.
Yeah.
And then they just went back away. Bye, Rams. All right, so 209. We're trying to figure out who you are, bring in your guesses. Somebody said from the 916 they don't think that they're a Cowboys fan. All right. Thank you, 209, for that.
Real quick on that Rams point, though, they bought their team for 1 year. You know, they went heavy that 1 year. People forget they had OBJ that year,
right?
And he tore his ACL
Bobby
in the Super
Wagner.
Bowl. So, yeah,
He's
Bobby
got a
Wa-
ring.
Jalen Ramsey.
I don't know if Wagner was there that year. I think he came after for 1 year, right? He left Seattle for 1 year. You might be right.
Yeah.
What? Anyways, they did
Andrew
a good
Whitworth
job.
as well.
Yeah, and here's the thing: if you're the Rams, you won a Super. Everyone thought you'd be done because you didn't have any picks. If you look at it honestly, you won a Super Bowl, had a rough year after that, and you were back in the playoffs, and a lot of people were picking you to win on the road in Detroit, a team that hasn't won a playoff game since the early 90s.
Yep.
So it doesn't seem like a bad deal to me.
Yeah, it's just Stafford's about done. It seems like Stafford's at his end here.
And now what assets
Rams
you have
got
to
pretty
trade?
lucky, too.
You know, you just run out Stetson Bennett and you just call it a day, and you keep this thing rolling.
They were lucky to nail the draft as well as they did too. I mean, to have pretty much to get Puka Nacua where they got him is, I mean, that's a ridiculous steal. And then to get Kieran Williams as well, who is, I mean, that dude might be their running back the next 4 or 5
Tutu
years.
Atwell.
By the way,
Tutu Atwell, he's been there a couple years.
By the way, okay, and Aaron Donald, every year it's, hey, are you retiring? So I don't know if that's going to come up again. By the way, I don't know if Emil Fergoso, our Sactown Sports 49ers insider, is here. And this isn't really coming down Emil's road as much as it's coming down Emil, or because he just gave me the information, or the Niners road. And maybe there's just a little bit of rivalry there. But the idea that Puka didn't deserve, right, to be in the Pro Bowl, and everybody said, you know, a lot of Niners felt, and Emil told us, a lot of Niners felt that Puka shouldn't have been, you know, because Brandon Ayuk got snubbed. It should have been Puka. For Puka to come out, I know it was in a losing effort, but to do what he did in the playoff game, I'm not really sure what the besides just it being a rivalry, Puka's pretty legit.
Yeah, that's after the fact, though.
What do you mean?
After the Pro Bowl voting and everything, like what?
But what's the argument that Puka wasn't a good play? Like,
I'm not making that argument. I'm just saying your point is that is something that happened. Like Dak Prescott
is the point that he's not a stud.
Right,
is the point that he's not a stud.
No,
what were they mad about?
I think people are mad because they were waiting for Ayuk to do this. I think Niners fans have been waiting to see Ayuk bust out
Sure.
like this, and then when he doesn't make the Pro Bowl, they're upset. So
I'm looking at Nakua's stats
I
for
think
the
that's
season
more of
here.
it.
He's got 105 receptions, just about 1,500 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, he set the rookie receiving record the first 4 months. I think it was 4 weeks of the season, the first month of the season. I
Yeah.
think he had the most receiving yards of any rookie ever. So, I mean, makes sense to me.
I mean, in what world can you try
He came
to
out of nowhere, too.
downplay a guy who, Cooper Kupp was out at the beginning of the season, and that's where he broke out. But even after that, we were talking more about Puka than Cooper Kupp, who won the Triple Crown as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Don't get mad. It's two completely different.
They hate the Rams too.
I
Jim.
get it.
They
but
really, really hate the Rams.
Don't be mad at Puka. Be mad. Just be mad at the fact they're not even mad. You're the one still playing, and they're not. But they're just two different systems. Brandon Ayuk, you can't. It's not the voters' fault that Puka is in a better receiving system than Brandon Ayuk.
I feel like you're framing this as if it was said in the past day or so. This was like several weeks ago.
Was it though?
The Pro Bowl thing? This was at least 2 weeks ago. I mean, they're not saying it after they're already out of the playoffs.
No, but they just played.
This was week 18, and they were going to play each other. So I think.
Okay, but Nate,
yeah.
You had Debo say Bradbury's trash, and then the rest of the season it was, oh yeah, Bradbury is kind of trash. So if there's the same energy, okay, well Puka, like I said, I don't know if the argument is that Puka wasn't good or if it's just Brandon Ayuk was bad. I just don't really know what they were upset about.
That's a huge part too, right? They feel like Ayuk should have got in over Puka, and that's kind of where the conversation,
right?
Like we don't know where to go from there because we don't know the reasons behind that.
And then if the Niners win on Saturday and Brandon Ayuk doesn't have a crazy game, it'd be, well, look at his system. Okay, well, yeah, well that's why he done the Pro. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
no, I yeah.
All right. Let's rank these QBs.
Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Want to start with who you want to start with, the AFC or NFC?
Do we just want to do a mix of it all? Let's just throw them all together.
Let's just throw them all in a pile.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I think there is funny enough, I do think there's a line of separation that's pretty clear anyway, but let's throw them together anyway and just do a top 8. I mean, do we want to do our individual list? Do we want to create a show list?
Let's see if we can create a show list, and let's see where we disagree.
Okay. Well, I get the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
You ride.
This is easy.
You fly, I buy.
Yeah.
We'll just do it like that.
Also, I have to set ground rules before we do anything. Are we doing this season? Are we doing the rest of this playoffs? What are we just saying?
Let's say right now.
Right now.
Okay.
Let's say who's hot hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Hot hand. There we go. That way, because like Patrick Mahomes is probably going to be the number 1, but in a hot hand scenario, you might not say he's playing the best football of everybody right now.
I think I would.
I still probably will take Patrick Mahomes because I'm not going to be the guy who didn't take Patrick Mahomes number 1. I think it's still, if we're drafting a team, like he's still going to be the guy that you're going to take for Sunday if we're doing daily fantasy football, but in real life, like I think you're still going to take Patrick Mahomes number 1, regardless of how well or poorly you think he's playing. I think that guy is definitely proven, especially in playoff situations. He can get it done. And I think it's not talked about enough how, he got it done last week, and it wasn't, Patrick Mahomes masterclass, but he got it done last week in some terrible weather. So I'm still going to go Patrick Mahomes.
I'm not disagreeing with you there. We got Patty. I'm writing these down. We got Patty at number 1.
Patty.
Okay. Who do you got number 2?
Do you want to take number 2? That's what I was saying. Am I doing it all? Or are we
No, Alan, take it.
Yeah, Alan, you take the second pick.
Yeah, number 2. Again, it's legacy versus this season. I know it doesn't always look great, and one guy has technically had more playoff success than the other, but it would be disrespectful, I feel like, to not take Lamar Jackson.
He's a guy. That's the right.
You have to
hot
take
hand,
Lamar
especially.
Jackson.
I mean, that's like he's balling so hard right now.
Chris?
I still have questions about Lamar in the playoffs, but I think with how he's playing right now, leading into the playoffs, I definitely think it'd be tough to not give the guy who's probably going to win MVP. He's probably got to be number 2, especially when you factor in Josh Allen's struggles.
To me, this is it, right? Well, this is it for Lamar in terms of, hey, man,
prove it.
At what point are you going to make this thing pop in the postseason? Because his years are different to other quarterbacks' years because of how he plays.
Yeah.
So this is now his 3rd playoff run, where 4th playoff
Might
run.
even be his 4th, yeah.
And if you
count injury,
if you lose to another team, because that Titans game, I believe that was at home. a couple years ago when they got
19,
shocked by the Titans. So at what point are you going to get over this hump, or are you going to be the Clayton Kershaw of QBs to where you're a baller in the regular season, but things are a little bit different? Does his gameplay not translate in the playoffs? This is it for me.
Dude, I'm looking at his playoff numbers right now. They say QB wins are not a stat. 1-3 in the playoffs, 55% completion percentage, 3 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions for Lamar, 2 interceptions in his last two playoff seasons. It's been rough for him as a passer, and that's the thing is, you know, it's going to be a similar question with Brock for sure. But like, if the Ravens go down a score, if they're down 10, can Lamar Jackson orchestrate a comeback is a legitimate question, and we haven't seen him do it yet. And so until he does it, I'm going to have to say I just don't see it happening. But I definitely think with how Lamar's played this season, number 2, I'm going to go number 3 because we got to kind of run through this. I think I'm actually going to go CJ Stroud here. Like I said, I feel like Josh Allen has not played well this season. You can maybe argue Brock can start to get into the conversation here, but CJ Stroud, man, that dude is ridiculous. He's doing it all for his team, and I just am incredibly impressed with that dude.
I'm so anti Josh Allen.
Yeah, I can't put CJ over Josh. I know there are peaks and valleys with Josh, but he's been to an AFC championship game. He was really counted out for a lot of this season.
Yeah, what's the AFC championship game?
Or was that to go to the AFC?
He's been beat
when he lost to Mahomes.
The 13 seconds.
That was to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because that,
Okay, well, he's dueled with the best before.
Yeah.
And we know the devil you know is better than the devil you don't.
Sure. Beat Lamar in 20.
They beat Lamar, so
17-3.
I think they're rolling right now. They get, and this isn't a game pick per se, but they do have another home game, and you know, you got two of the top guys going up against each other, Josh and Patty Mahomes. Yeah, I see why you're picking CJ Stroud, but again, they were playing with really no expectations. Everybody had the Browns picked. I feel like I gotta go Josh, but it's close.
Very fair. So I guess we can just do CJ. I mean, again, I really feel like there was a line of AFC quarterbacks where clearly I'm taking all the other AFC quarterbacks, and I guess we'll just do the NFC quarterbacks on the other side.
We'll do the NFC quarterbacks on the other side.
Wasn't the intention.
Again, it's the dragon meme once again, besides Brock and some of these guys. All right, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Oh no, your little one has caught a cold and has a cough. Help them feel better fast with DayQuil Kids from Vicks. It's specifically formulated just for kids, and it helps treat their most bothersome cold symptoms. It's also available in 2 delicious flavors, honey and berry. DayQuil Kids is the daytime congestion, coughing, stuffy head, stuffy nose, just for kids medicine. Pick it up at your local pharmacy or any major retailer today. For kids 6 and up, use as directed.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
The Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame induction celebration is back Sunday, February 4th at the brand new venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Join us as we induct the class of 2024. NBA champion Matt Barnes, All-Star James Donaldson, Major League Baseball's Nick Johnson and Leon Lee, and world champion triathlete Jamie Whitmore. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. For all info, go to SacSportsHOF.com.
Hi, this is Dusty Baker, proud member of the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame. You have to be there to see it at Thunder Valley Casino.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Tape it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports.
Local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
We have our list of QBs. Patrick Mahomes, number 1. Then we have Lamar Jackson, number 2. Got a little bit spicy in here, whether it was Josh Allen or CJ Stroud, number 3. But I think we would agree they are 3 and 4 as we now move to, really, we were doing the top 8, and it just happens that the top 4 are in the AFC and the bottom 4 are in the AFC. So now,
other way around.
Yes, or in the NFC. So now, as you kind of look at the NFC and who's left, you have Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. I mean, you got to go with Brock here. I mean, he's got the last year's playoff success.
So he's 5th. That makes him 5th.
Yeah. And even, I think that there is an argument. I'm telling you, there's an argument to maybe put him as high as 3, definitely as high as 4, but 5 is the lowest I think that Brock can go. I think, like I said, I mean, after having success in the playoffs last year that you can point at and say, shouldn't be new to him. This is now a full season of good play. There's really no reason to not say that Brock is clearly at the very least the best quarterback in the NFC.
Yeah.
Remaining.
You've either seen somebody perform at a higher level for a shorter amount of time, or you haven't seen them perform at a higher level, but they've been in the league for a longer amount of time. So I would say Jordan Love, obviously Brock didn't play last week, but what Jordan Love did last week was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that is the one thing I'd be worried about. And that's what Brad Graham of the SF Niners brought up, because a hot quarterback is a problem.
Sure.
That can be a big problem. And if he is able to keep it rolling, now you're facing a much better I mean, the Cowboys were supposed to have a good defense, but they decided to go zone. It was just bizarre. But if he stays hot, that is the one thing. I mean, Nick Foles got hot and won a Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
But in terms of what we've seen, I got to go Brock, because as small, even though people say Brock's had a smaller sample size, it's still been bigger than Jordan Love's.
Right.
Because this was his first season starting. So I would agree with you, Brock, right there. This is where things get a little bit tricky.
Sounds like you want to put Jordan Love next.
No. You're struggling between Baker and Goff.
Yeah. And even Brad, when I asked Brad, he seemed to. I mean, for the most part, I think the
Brad
problem
went
is
Goff.
all
Brad's
those
a
guys,
Cal fan.
they're all the same tier.
That's right.
Like they're pretty much just different flavors.
That's right. You got Moxie when you got Mayfield.
Yeah.
You got Jared
Baker's
Goff.
been slinging that thing.
He has.
But it's also been 1 year sample size.
Mhm.
And it's been varying degrees of Baker cooking.
Because the
He's got
question
some good
is,
targets,
in this
too.
conversation, is it best quarterback or hot, or does best include hottest?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, the rules that we set were, play as of today.
Mhm.
So you're factoring in again. It's like if we're making a daily fantasy squad and we're drafting our teams today, right here, right now. Who do you want on your team of the remaining quarterbacks for this weekend?
After Brock,
who do you want under center?
Yeah, I mean, Love is the hot, sexy pick, but
who do you trust? There's a lot of things that go into it.
I've seen Love likes to fling that thing, and I would definitely say there will be one interception by the Niners. He just I don't know what it is when, and I know Aaron Rodgers didn't really throw a lot of interceptions, but I don't know what it is when QBs put on that Green Bay Packers jersey. They just become gunslingers. They're just going to throw that.
He's going to have to make some plays too.
That's right.
I mean, just in general, I mean, you've got to be if you're the Packers, you're not going to win this game playing, the run the clock out and let's just try and, limit their possessions. I think if you're the Packers, you got to try and make some explosive plays yourself, and part of that is going to be taking some risks. And I think this Niners defense is more than capable of limiting risks. So we have seen in the past the secondary is prone to occasionally get dusted. So.
I'm going with Jared Goff.
Okay. That's probably the right, that's the definition of a safe pick, right? Like it's just, there's definitely a limited ceiling, but you're probably just going to get a steady performance. And, his offensive line is so sick. He's probably not going to get into too much trouble until he faces the Niners, but I think that's probably the right pick. And I'm going to go Jordan Love next. I'm not a big Baker. I think Baker's played incredibly this year. I just don't believe that it's going to be something that's going to last for a while. I mean, he does have Mike Evans. He's got Chris Godwin. He's got Rashad White, I think was getting a ton of touches this year. He's got a lot of talent around him that's helping him prop himself up. But I just think that Jordan Love, the ceiling of what I think Jordan Love can be is definitely higher than Baker. And Baker can also, we've seen in the past, really put you in some bad situations with him trying to make plays. And now kind of feels like about the time where Baker's going to try and shine. And again, you trying to make big plays sometimes can lead to some really big mistakes. So I can't believe in Baker.
Yeah, I think Baker has to. I think I agree with you. And I feel bad because I think Baker gets a bit of a bad rap, but it said more about everybody was talking about the Eagles, right? Even though the Bucs went out and they did their thing, a lot of people were talking more about the Eagles because the Eagles were a complete mess. So, Baker, let's see what you can do because you're going to have an opportunity. Here's the thing. You're going to have an opportunity. What have we talked about with the Lions? Their defense is not good, right? So, Baker, you do it again, then I think people will start to say, okay, this guy can do some things. I guess we're looking at possibly a shootout in Detroit.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he's seen less from Love, but I would say Love's weapons aren't as good as Baker's as well.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So I probably, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
But Love is playing too well to put him last.
Yeah.
And really, none of these quarterbacks are bad. It's just a matter of if I'm going into battle.
We haven't played it yet, but all these quarterbacks are terrific, right?
That's right.
They're all terrific.
They're all except for one.
Except for one.
We'll so we have that sound from you as well. So what do you think, Nate? What do you think, Nate?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the I'm a loner on this one, but Josh Allen really where
are you putting him?
His lows are so. I think he goes 5th. I think it's a toss up between CJ and Brock, and then it's Josh. But I know so many people disagree with that. Josh Allen, his lows are so low.
Yeah.
He's so it's very, very similar to Brett Favre. I feel like he's Brett Favre in Cam Newton's body. And he throws himself at people. Sometimes it works. 52-yard rushing touchdown against the Steelers.
Well, can we talk about that? Because
the fake slide.
It wasn't a full Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
But it was similar to Kenny Pickett.
So slow.
And I felt some type of way about that because
Absolutely.
Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, I'm going to say it right here on these airwaves, they're floppers. And they whine.
Oh, yeah.
And they stare at the refs.
Yeah.
And they wait for a flag.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what the NFL is going to do, but it could become a problem.
Get him, Allen.
Because you slow down because earlier in the game there was a late hit that you whined about, okay? And now you slow down because these guys are coming full speed, so they got to stop. And yeah, Josh Allen, you are very athletic, so you power through. And oh my goodness, what a crazy play! But they're manipulating the rules.
Yeah. Russell Wilson too used to do this. All very smart play. Kyler Murray can do it. That fake slide is such a deadly weapon. Yeah. More people should be talking about that than the tush push.
I agree with that.
Yes, because that's a dangerous rule. How do you also stop that?
No, you can't.
You can't.
What rule do you put in place to prevent that?
Right. It wasn't that like Josh. That's the thing. Josh did not deke out the receiver or the defender. Josh put the defender in a position where the defender had to think,
hesitate.
I'm either going to get a flag here or I guess I got to
make the smart play.
Yeah, or I'm going to hesitate a little bit and get blown by it. That's what happened.
Right.
I'm glad that got brought up.
But Josh Allen, I see what he does. I've seen him miss in big moments and make very silly mistakes, turnovers especially. I just don't see. I know people get so excited. You listen to Collinsworth talk about this guy. Oh my God, he's the greatest thing I've ever seen. And it's just I think the lows are too low and too frequent.
Sure.
For Josh Allen to be,
but he could get
consistency
hot.
Is no doubt in my mind.
He can get hot, and he might be on a heater now.
I know, but this has happened before where he's gone into the playoffs hot and just like it hasn't worked. So I don't know. I haven't seen it from him. I'm not sold on Josh Allen. His lows are too low to outweigh his highs. That's just my argument.
Absolutely. No, and I'm looking at his game logs here. The Bills have now won 6 straight, but it has not necessarily been because of Josh Allen. I mean,
look at week 1, dude. He lost that game against the Jets.
He sure did.
Aaron Rodgers, there's that. I think it was last year. He had a go-ahead touchdown. He spiked into the ground. I forget who it was to, but I'm seeing it in my head right now. It was right on the line. He had and you see him drop down and like freak out. It's like, oh man, you can't miss that.
At one point, it was when you're at the top, they're always trying to get somebody to knock you off. And I do think that quarterback play is still believed to have to look a certain way. And I think that if Lamar Jackson wins a Super Bowl, part of me thinks that it'll change that thought process. Part of me doesn't.
The definition of quarterbacky changes.
Yeah, I think yes. I think it'll just turn into, well, there's only one Lamar Jackson and there's one Lamar versus all these other guys. But with Patrick Mahomes being at the top, you had people just get tired of you, right? Whether they'll say they don't like your wife or they say they don't like just how whatever with Patrick Mahomes, right? So you had, just Josh Allen now. You know what I mean? Josh Allen's the guy. Remember that a couple years ago? It was Josh Allen is better than Patrick Mahomes.
That's partly why I'm like this.
But I would also put, he beats Mahomes one time in the playoffs. Are we sure Joe Burrow's not better than Patrick Mahomes when Patrick Mahomes has literally just been chilling there, right, and continuing to do things? And that's why I think that last season you lose Tyreek. People were he was coming off that L to Joe Burrow. Patrick Mahomes had a lot to prove. If he's able to run this back again, that would be
horrible team.
With a horrible team. Even just getting there, I know they don't really count that for much these days, but that would be incredible because, it was Josh Allen. Remember out here in these streets, it was – the one guy who changed his completion percentage based on where he was drafted, and now when comparing to Trey Lance, they were saying he could be Josh Allen. Now it turns out that Josh Allen isn't even that Josh Allen.
If Mahomes takes these guys to the Super Bowl, It's very similar to LeBron's last year in Cleveland, where he dragged that ugly Cleveland team all the way to the finals.
The first go round, the first LeBron stint, not with Kyrie.
Oh no, I'm thinking LeBron's last game in Cleveland,
right
before he left back to LA, when he had IT and
I actually
traded D Wade at the
I forgot about that iteration.
That team was so bad,
yeah,
and he just pulled them into the finals.
Yeah.
Like that team had no right to be there.
No.
And Mahomes, dude, this Chiefs team, I mean, outside of Andy Reid, like Travis Kelce looks bad. I mean, Rashid Rice had a couple good games. No one else can catch the ball.
Yeah.
Also, when Travis Kelce moves, he's moving like an ogre, like slow and not.
He doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
But maybe he can, maybe he can turn it on. Maybe he's just been waiting in the wings. Tight ends get hot. We'll see. All right, get into a break. When we get back, is Tyrese Halliburton playing mind games? Possibly. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL playoffs continue Saturday on Sactown Sports. First, it's the Texans and Ravens at 1:30, followed by the Packers and 49ers at 5:15. The NFL playoffs are right here on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies today. We'll have light southeast winds and afternoon highs in the upper 50s to about 60 degrees. Expect overnight lows in the mid 40s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Don't miss out on New Year's savings at Folsom Lake Kia. Low prices and payments on your favorite new Kia models. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia, right here in Sacramento for over 25 years, or folsomlakekia.com.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
California's largest Sportsman's Expo is back Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo in Sacramento. Find the best selection of boats, side-by-sides, campers, and accessories, all at special prices. And get to your next adventure in style. See Toyota's all-new Tacoma. Your life outdoors at the International Sportsman's Expo, Thursday through Sunday at Cal Expo in Sacramento. More info at sportsexpos.com.
Beach Hut Deli on 711 K Street is now your place to go in downtown Sacramento prior to all the games, concerts, and events. Conveniently located just across the street from the arena, Beach Hut Deli features the finest gourmet sandwiches and craft beverages anywhere. Beach Hut Deli at 711 K Street is also your premier lunch destination 7 days a week. Come by and say hi to new owner Brad Wakai. He's so excited to take care of all your taste bud needs. That's Beach Hut Deli at 711 K Street in Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
The return. Buddy Hield warming up. Tyrese Halliburton warming up. Will Tyrese Halliburton play? He's questionable. It's questionable. You know he wants to. This is the only trip.
Absolutely.
You know he wants to get out there. I know that the Kings have been known to play a bit banged up, but Halliburton means a whole heck of a lot to that franchise, and he got carried off the court.
Yes.
That's the thing for me. This isn't an ankle. This isn't, I can power through because it's my only time out there. It looked like that hamstring got peeled off. I mean,
he fully did the splits.
The court.
Yeah. He slipped on some water and fully did like a leg extended split. So I know it's important to him. I know he definitely feels like, it's a really big matchup for him. There's the whole, he's back. At least he's in the building, but he's got friends, I'm sure, still in the area. He made a lot of relationships when he was here, and he wants to also, I guarantee Tyrese Halliburton would love nothing more than to have a 30-plus point performance and hit some big shot and then look right at Monty McNair's seats and ask the crowd to give him some noise. And, it makes sense. Tyrese has made his feelings about the trade well known, well documented. And,
has he?
I think, I'm really glad that we don't have to hear about it anymore. And so, I definitely think this is bigger than basketball, if you will, for Tyrese Halliburton.
There's no way he plays, though, right?
Crazier things have happened.
I haven't seen the video. Does it look like he's
just shooting well? Yeah, he's just out there he's doing shoot around. He's walking around, taking some jump shots, and just looks fine.
This happened to somebody last season where they got, who was it? It wasn't Anthony Edwards. Somebody got carried off last season, and it was, oh my goodness, prayers up, and everybody, hopefully he's okay. And it was a rolled ankle.
Oh yeah, well it was because,
was that LaMelo? Who was that?
I can't remember what it was, but it was more on clutch points, because clutch points will make graphics looking like people are dead, and it's like Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
2002 to 2023, and it's like, what is he dead? Like, what happened?
What's going
and it's
on?
like, nah, my man just he slipped.
Somebody
hurt his hamstring.
Somebody went down last season, and
I remember that. Yeah,
and it was he's done for the year, and it was a rolled ankle.
Yeah,
and they were back within about 2 weeks. So who knows if Halliburton is going to play or not? The Pacers are in a similar position as the Kings as far as where they're at in their respective conference, which is why they go out. And again, for those wondering, we'll not see Siakam tonight. We will not see Siakam tonight, but we might see Tyrese Halliburton. The Pacers are 23-17. The Kings are 23-17. Same exact record. Kings are the 6th seed. In the Eastern Conference, the Pacers are the 7th seed, but they are tied as far as losses are concerned with the 5 seed in the Knicks and the 6 seed with the Heat. So a pretty even matchup. I think it says something when everybody keeps talking about how terrible the Indiana Pacers defense is, and then you look up and they have the same record as the Kings, which lets you know, okay, well, the Kings are better defensively, but now they got other issues.
Sure.
Right? Trying to get over the hump and really make that move. And not to get too much into the trade, obviously it's going to continue to come up. Is this going to get talked about? I feel like, what's crazy to me? This gets talked about somehow, right? This trade with Sabonis and Tyrese Halliburton gets talked about more than the trade of Trae Young and Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I mean, Tyrese is just in the conversation now, especially a lot more than ever. And so it feels, and it was a massive, massive deal. I mean, people in the media love Tyrese Halliburton. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, and it's a chance to point and laugh at the Kings, which everybody in national media never misses out on an opportunity to do that. But I think there's an illusion that Atlanta is fine with Trae Young, and that it's not that terrible because, it's not like it was Marvin Bagley or somebody completely unplayable. At least it's Trae Young who's putting up all of these numbers, when in reality, Atlanta, I know they're shopping DeJounte Murray out there. I would tell you the one you should be shopping is the other guy, Trae Young. I just don't think you can realistically win a championship with that dude on your roster. He is the worst defender in the NBA.
Well, we just talked about De'Aaron Fox. Can he be 1A on a championship team? If De'Aaron Fox can't, then Trae Young can't.
Trae Young definitely can.
So I just have no clue. No. And it is part of that pride with the Atlanta Hawks. We made this trade. Us moving on from Trae Young, how many years down the line, is basically saying we messed up and we're saying uncle, and they don't want to do that.
No.
Because I've seen some graphics with Trae Young in San Antonio with Wemby. Now that's a little bit different, maybe, right? Now, I think the line of what Trae Young can be, because he has the ball a lot, can he be a 2 and win a championship? I don't know. Does he have to be a 3? Can he be a 3? I think that, Chris, your list of point guards that just kind of not annoy you, but I just don't know what to do with them based on how they play. I know who else is in this list, because you got Trae Young, I would say, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Okay. You putting Jalen Brunson in there?
Yeah, definitely.
It's just guys that we know you're good.
Yeah.
But we don't know what to do with you. Yeah. And if the Spurs are able to get DeJounte Murray back based on how they moved off of DeJounte, that would be a nice finesse for the Spurs.
I don't think so. From what I understand, that relationship was not great at all. I think that they really left on bad terms. So DeJounte would surprise me. I still feel like the Trae Young trade is Cat. I think if you could do a Cat Trae Young swap, it just makes the most sense. I think both of those teams would convince themselves that they got the better end of it. And, I think the Cat Gobert thing is too much. And I think that the only way you can really mask how bad Trae Young is on defense is by having a guy like Rudy Gobert and Anthony Edwards as well to kind of patchwork it. And to me, it makes a lot of sense too, because they need a point guard desperately. And to me, that move makes a lot of sense at some point here.
Yeah. All right. Get into a break. When we get back, the A's are in Sacramento right now, visiting Sutter Health Park. We'll tell you all about it and more. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Kings return home Thursday night to G1C as Domantas Sabonis faces his former team.
What a pass and what placement from Sabonis.
It's the Kings and Pacers Thursday at 7 on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best riders tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Golden One Center, January 26th to the 28th. Brought to you by BKT Tires and Great Clips. Visit monsterjam.com today.
Grab the keys to a new Toyota. A new year means new adventures. Take on any terrain behind the wheel of a new Toyota truck. Seize the great deals happening now at your local Toyota dealer and gear up for your next adventure. Right now, get low 3.99% APR on the legendary 2023 Tacoma, or get $750 cash back on the powerful 2024 Tundra. Haul in the new year in a new Toyota truck. Toyota. Let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium ready credit. Excludes DRD Pro and 131.24.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
The 49ers earned the NFC's top seed.
On the first play of the game, CMC Dynamite!
Join all of our shows. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles, and Watkins. And the Drive Guys as they follow their quest for a 6th Super Bowl title.
Pressured right away by Young and sacked by Eric Armstead.
Sactown Sports is your home for San Francisco 49ers football.
San Francisco!
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The 2024 Honda Civic LX sedan from Elk Grove Honda offers all the safety, reliability, performance, and great gas mileage you've come to expect from Honda for all these years. With anti-lock brakes, tire pressure monitoring system, backup camera, and Honda safety sensing package including collision mitigation braking system, you can see why a sporty, redesigned Civic from Elk Grove Honda gives you a lot for your money. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought them. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For sore feet, aching back, knee, or hip pain, come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville.
Halliburton is back in town. We have audio. He talks about De'Aaron Fox, Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports taking up to 2. And let's hear from Tyrese, who is still questionable tonight. Let's see what he had to say when he was asked about his former team and everything that's going on with the Kings and what's going on with the Pacers.
Yeah, I mean, I think the new coach has helped a lot. And, I think winning changes things. Like Fox has been one of the best guards in the league, over the past couple of years. And Domas is a seamless fit. So and they got really good guys that fit in the group well. I think Malik is a really, really good player. Keegan's a good draft pick. They fill out the roster really well. So that has a lot to do with their success.
All right.
Wow. He didn't mention the trade once there. I'm surprised.
I'm not going to mention the trade there.
You'd be surprised. You would be surprised.
What is that?
It's crazy how much the team has changed. I mean, he named basically everyone who's new since he left. So much has changed.
Yeah. I mean, completely. It's been a total reversal. I mean, yeah, it is nuts. I mean, let me pull up the the only guys who I think were there with him mentioning Keegan was even drafted after him. Davion was there. HB was there. Alex Len was probably there. Keon might have been in his first year as a player. I mean, and I think that might be it. I mean, even from Mike Brown on, like there's really not much remnants of anybody from Tyrese's time here.
Yeah, and I don't know what it was about that sound right there. He didn't say anything wrong, and I have no problem with Tyrese Halliburton. This is more about the Kings. Whether if Tyrese plays and it's a good American game, great. Okay. And it's just a great American showdown, right? If he doesn't
plays with integrity
and he plays it with integrity, there's no flopping, right? It's just a great American basketball game.
Yeah.
If he doesn't play, the Kings have to beat the brakes off the Pacers.
Yes.
No, they have to.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, man. Just something in his voice is just saying, y'all good over there. Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, that's why I'm glad to hear him not talking about the trade, because for so long he seemed really bothered by what was going on here. And I'm glad to hear him just talking about his own situation. And it finally, that is, you know what? That is an ex saying, hey, you know what? I see they got a new job. Okay, they're making more money than they made when I was with them. They got a boo. I met their boo the other day. Great person, like nothing bad to say. Glad they're eating over there.
No, but look. Okay, so for those listening, the video by our own Brendan Nunez, Tyrese he's sitting in the middle of the chair.
You got a problem with how he's sitting?
No, he's sitting in the middle. He's sitting on a chair, right? He's sitting in the arena, right? One of the front row seats. And he's got one arm on one chair on his left, one arm on one chair on his right. He doesn't have a care in the world. Chris, you know, the body language, he's just saying to me, y'all little bros got it. We over here. Yeah, and you know what? De'Aaron Fox, he's a good player. You know, he's one of the best guards in the league. Yeah. It was too cookie cutter. It was too cookie cutter that I don't believe it. And I feel like he's gonna try to play tonight, man.
He's definitely gonna try to play. I don't.
You ever pulled your hamstring?
Not. I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say yes. I would say.
You ever pull your hamstring?
I'm definitely injured.
I mean, not like critical, but I've hurt myself.
Exactly.
You know what? He's a couple.
Yeah.
This is what you do. This is what you're gonna do. Okay. Been a couple weeks now, right? Whatever it is, because I used to pull my hammy all the time. I'm not flexible. I've been more flexible since messing up my Achilles, and I've had no choice. But okay, you get your wrap, and you wrap that thing, Chris, and you wrap it as tight as you can. And Tyree's gonna be back there wrapping that thing, saying, "I'm good to go.
No blood flow.
No blood flow.
His leg falls off.
We're just running off adrenaline and vibes. That man is gonna try to play. I'm telling you. Look, if you're driving, just imagine, okay, if you're on YouTube, this guy, man, the way he's just chilling here.
He's posted. He's definitely
posted on the block in his old arena.
Yeah. He's
saying,
comfy.
You guys are doing some things cool.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole thing. It was supposed to be an even trade. Now, Pacers weren't.
It wasn't an even trade. What do you mean it was
Pacers? Well, I'm just saying. Pacers, they also weren't supposed to be blowing it up. Right? They were supposed to get a young stud. So it's funny to me that they're literally, people can say it wasn't even. They both have the same exact record as well. That's hilarious to me.
Yeah.
I would say that people would say, well, Kings were supposed to more so than the Pacers. I think maybe if Tyrese hasn't been doing what he's doing, maybe Miles would have been moved by now. Who knows? But all I'm saying, if he plays, I just want a great matchup, okay? If he does not play, Chris, you will get clowned.
Absolutely.
You will get clowned.
Absolutely.
Because he's going to be sitting there probably in whatever he's wearing, right? He's going to have his fashion right.
Yeah.
And y'all, even a close game, fine, right? Get the W, but Chris, out of all the games that you have held L's to, because I remember last season when I was covering the Warriors, I believe, lost to a game where Halliburton didn't play and Andrew Nembhard went off.
Yeah.
He went absolutely off. So I've seen it happen.
I mean,
Chris.
they got Ben Mathurin still. Like, they still got Buddy, who's also looking for a revenge.
This, Chris. I do not like this.
I agree with you that they should beat the Pacers. Absolutely. I mean, forget the fact that it is the Pacers and there's still emotions. Even from, I mean, we're only talking about the Tyrese Buddy side. Sabonis also has some emotions too.
That's true.
He hears people talking about Tyrese Halliburton all the time.
Well, then show it.
De'Aaron Fox. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, then show it,
they're on a
De'Aaron.
3-game losing streak. They're back at the crib now. There are no excuses, especially if Tyrese doesn't play. But even if Tyrese does, I think that that's a great challenge for them that they should try. I mean, if anything, I think Tyrese playing adds the motivation. It adds another layer of, oh, y'all better come ready then, because you know they're about as full strength as they can be. You know, at least I'm not going to say it, but at least if Tyrese doesn't play, you have the built-in excuse of, oh, maybe you overlooked him without Tyrese. You weren't sure if he was going to be there, whatever. And when he announced that he wasn't going to play, it kind of took the wind out of the sails a bit. I wouldn't say it's a valid excuse, but at least you can say it. No, there's no reason. I mean, especially with just how bad they've played right now. And, you know, if you're Harrison Barnes, if you're Kevin Huerter and you do want to stay here in Sacramento, you better start playing well, because, if they go on a 4-game losing streak, and then, the games, we're done now with the soft portion of the Kings schedule. So if the Kings start dropping games here against teams that they absolutely should win, well then, man, I think the Kings will be joining the Pacers and being light loaded for a couple games pretty soon.
This is from the Woj pod. Okay.
Yeah.
They look at how much fun it is to play there, how much fun Halliburton is to play with, how unselfish he is. And it sometimes allows you to play up in class in terms of your market. He makes up for the difference that a Midwestern market might have had trouble keeping the guy. This is Woj discussing the Pacers being able to get a third.
Can I just be a hater for a quick sec? That's why people in Sacramento are so just defensive and just snippy about things like that, because the Kings were the funnest story in the league last year with the beam. It wasn't just a one-player thing. And I don't recall seeing any reports of, free agents now are flocking. It doesn't matter that Sacramento is a small market. People forget it's still, the capital city of the biggest economy in America, and all this stuff like that. That never gets brought up. But Tyrese Halliburton has or I guess, at this point, 2 good halves of the past 2 seasons, and all of a sudden Indiana might as well be Miami. It's just all of a sudden now this is where basketball is at its purest form, because they're scoring 130 points and not playing any defense. I could understand how somebody, not me, of course. I'm not riled up about this at all. No. But I could see how maybe somebody can get a little bit riled up at how, again, the Kings play great basketball. They're playing poorly this season, have the same record as the Pacers, but Indiana is the funnest place in the universe to play basketball. Okay.
Look.
Okay.
I am really, you're almost a method actor there. You really did dig deep, because it's not you.
No, it's not.
Because that's not you.
It would never be me.
That is not you, but the way you were able to
channel
that was pretty impressive. All right.
Well, it's award season.
It is.
Golden Globes,
it is. Get your Emmy, get your Golden Glove. All right, get into a break.
Shout out to Bear.
We get back, we have more Halliburton talk, more Kings talk as they get ready to take on their old friend. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out our NFL playoff doubleheader on Sunday. Tampa Bay at Detroit at noon, followed by Houston at Baltimore at 3:30 on your home for Super Bowl 58. Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
It's time to buck up Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge of your seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big old nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now, starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Oak Ridge Winery.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
On the putting green, when someone doesn't get their putt to the hole, someone else is bound to say, "Hit it, Alice." But who is Alice, and what did she do to get immortalized in a golf insult? Well, it turns out that Alice isn't a she, Alice is a he. It's Alice as in the late Peter Alice, the famous English golf broadcaster. He was a pretty good touring professional, and at the 1963 Ryder Cup, Alice played Arnold Palmer and Tony Lima, having with Lima and beating Palmer. At some point in that match, Alice, for whom putting was not a strength, badly missed a 3-foot putt. Someone in the gallery yelled out, "Nice putt, Alice." Alice explained that the BBC where he did golf commentary played a large part in burning the phrase into public consciousness. I was never renowned for putting, he explained, therefore I was an easy target for British comedy programs. Alice later gave golf lessons to Sean Connery for his match as James Bond in Goldfinger. So the next time you utter, "Hit it, Alice," just remember Peter Alice. May he rest in peace. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Does this make you happy or sad? Tyrese Halliburton ruled out. He will not be playing. He will just be chilling in his. What do the kids wear these days? Do they still wear Gucci? I feel like that's old.
Yeah.
What do the kids wear? Right?
Wear some. Yeah, I guess
It's
not.
like Givenchy. Is that
Kids
one of
can
them?
afford Gucci?
Well, I mean, not kids, but like,
Kids
I mean,
are
I guess
relative.
Tyrese is. I don't even know how old Tyrese is these days, but he's.
What are the top brands?
Yeah.
He's a Kirkland guy, Tyrese.
Actually, speaking of, and by the way, we will be joined by Andy Herman, owner, host of Pack-A-Day podcast and writer for Packer Report. We'll have to ask him about that. I don't know if you saw this going around, but it's the battle of the dripless quarterbacks. Did you see that? There was a post that went viral with Jordan Love, and he was in a very similar outfit to Brock Purdy, and it said, "Look at my guy, no drip at all, just focus on the game, already locked in." So it will be a battle of Coles when the Packers take on the Niners. But yeah, getting back to Tyrese Halliburton, the Pacers and the Kings. No Tyrese tonight, ruled out, so he's just going to be chilling.
Yeah.
Okay, fitted up. He's going to be waving. He's going to be shaking hands, kissing babies, saying, "Hey, I miss you guys." Right?
I bet he puts on some Pascal Siakam gear, whether it's like a graphic tee, maybe like a, at least for the walk-in, maybe not on the sideline, but like he's going to do something where it's like Tyrese is always, he knows what he's doing.
Does he have a shoe deal yet?
He does not. No.
That'll
feels
be
like a
way.
Nike guy. I feel like he's
Fox does.
Nike. He sure does.
Won the trades.
He sure
He doesn't have a
does.
shoe yet, though.
Not yet.
Got the deal, though.
Got the deal.
Got
though.
the deal.
Locked in the
Yeah.
deal. You know, so no Tyrese Halliburton. That's unfortunate. At least I know I wanted to see him.
Yeah.
But now that we know that, Kings, take care of business.
Take care.
No, enough now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fine. You had a bad run.
Yeah.
We'll go back to it. We mentioned it at the top of the show. We'll go back to it. They are 6-7 their last 13 games, and throughout that 6-7, they've got some bad losses.
Yeah.
Charlotte, they almost lost to the Hawks. They lost to the Blazers. This 3-game stretch where they lost, so that's 5 right there. And then they got the doors blown off by the Pelicans. So it's been a tough stretch. You can cleanse the palate now. You're back home. Because, Chris, another thing here, and I feel like we haven't really looked at the roster that much lately, right? Because we've just been trying to survive with all the games that they've been blowing. But, Chris, after these 2 games, they're on the road for a decent amount of time.
Oh, the schedule?
Yeah, so they play at home today, and they play at home Monday. After that, they go to Warriors, go to Mavericks, go to Grizzlies, go to Heat, go to Pacers, and he'll play that game. And Siakam will probably play that game, go to Bulls, and then go to Cavs.
Yeah.
Then they finally come back to take on their arch nemesis, the Pistons. That's February 7th.
Yeah.
So after Monday, they won't be back home until February 7th.
Yep. Yeah, I mean it's brutal, and that's why this is the middle of the season. Tonight's going to be the 41st game of the season for the Kings. So they're literally going through it, man. They're in the thick of this thing, and these are the dog days. Like, these are the dog days of the season, and this is where I think teams really show their identity. It's where you start to separate yourself, and I think unfortunately right now the Kings are falling into the pack, and that's not where what you want to be doing at this point in the year. You definitely want to start to be falling into who you think you can be at the end of the year. And if this is who the Kings are going to be falling into, I think we're all going to be disappointed with how this season's going to end, because it does not feel like things are tracking in a positive direction. And I don't think that we're a 2-win homestand away from things really changing. Like, even if they do get the win tonight over Indiana and then get the win on Monday against Atlanta, I know you're going into Golden State, and the Kings finally, it's actually a welcome sight to see Golden State. We haven't seen them in forever, and you want to talk about struggling. I mean, they're besides the terrible news of yesterday, I mean, they've been going through it for a month or so now. I don't think that we're a couple wins away from momentum shifting. It to me, I think we've seen enough again to where it's like, I think we know that it needs to be fixed with this team.
Chris, I got bad news for you. No, seriously now. No. After they get back on February 7th, and look here, this is why Chris was up in arms about blowing games to Houston.
Yeah.
This is why we said you got to take care of business. This is what's coming next, Chris. So they come home February 7th, right? After that long stretch on the road.
Yep.
And they get the Pistons. After that, Chris, tell them what they've won. February 9th, they get the Nuggets in Sacramento. February 11th, they get the Thunder in Oklahoma City. Then a back-to-back where they are in Phoenix, okay, February 13th. Then on Valentine's Day, they go back to Denver.
How did they play the Nuggets 3 times in February? They play them February 9th at home. They play them February 14th on the road, and then again on the 28th on the road as well.
This is not good.
It's not good at all. And then, like you said, you got an OKC matchup in there. You got a Phoenix matchup in Phoenix, in Club Phoenix again.
Oh.
And then you got the Clippers as well on February 25th. Like, this is the toughest stretch that the Kings are going to go throughout this season right now. And I mean, I really hope, and this is why I think a deal needs to be done sooner rather than later, because, I mean, if you're going to ask my confidence level about this current club, I'm going to tell you it's at like a 3 to go 500 during that stretch. You got to give yourself, if you are going to make that big move, you got to give yourself some time to let that person integrate themselves into the lineup, into the rotation, getting familiar with the situation before you hit those games. You don't want to go into those games being hey, not only are we struggling right now, not only did we just bring in this new piece, we're facing the toughest opponents right now. So what a great time to try and slowly integrate somebody. That's not how you should do it. And so that's why I'm going to keep saying, I just don't think I can say after every single game, I cannot say enough. A deal has to get done. If you're going to make a move, don't wait till February 8th. It's not going to do you any good. As a matter of fact, it could be too late at that point. You might be really in the thick of the play-in at that
really
point.
Could.
Right now, you're at least in you got your head barely. You barely got your neck above water right now in terms of staying out of the play-in. Make a move now so that you're hopefully, by the time you're done with this tough stretch, you can be talking about, okay, we got done with that. how do we make some moves to get into that 4 seed? Maybe we can somehow get hot and get a 3 seed, but right now that feels impossible. I don't even think that's part of the equation. I don't even think that's a possibility with how this team is currently constructed. There's no way I would bet this team, like you said earlier in the show, I can't see them being higher than a 4 seed right now.
No, and that's no disrespect to the team. I mean, it's the gauntlet. There are no breaks.
No, none.
You get a decent break, and you lost the breaks that you've had.
Yep, that's the problem.
That's the problem. Yep. You're looking here. You got a Bulls team. That Bulls team, we don't know who's going to be on the team by the time they face, but all of these teams are not pushovers, and you've already lost to the pushovers. So that is not a good sign moving forward. And even when we're not naming off the big boys, there's a Bulls team in the mix during that stretch. There's a Heat team in the mix during that stretch. Teams that we haven't even
You're going to have
mentioned.
a full stacked Pacers team at some point.
That's
on
right.
That February 2nd game.
That's right. So, they got to figure this thing out. And I know. Okay, well, the Grizzlies, they'll have a bit of a break there, but they also have the Mavericks end of January, who we just didn't mention. That's how stacked the West is. We just didn't mention the Mavericks.
The Kings are healthy right now.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a single person on their injury report.
Yeah.
So imagine what happens, knock on wood, if someone in the rotation goes down. Like, this is them playing at their absolute peak right now, at their healthiest. Things can only get more and more turbulent in terms of your outside circumstances. Right. You can't let that be when you're struggling on the floor too, because everything is going to leak into each other. And at that point, again, you're going to spiral. And with how close this Western Conference is, you might spiral past the point of recovery, and you might end up in the play-in as the 7 seed might be your best hope. Maybe barely making it past the 6 seed. Who knows? But the longer and longer Monty waits, I think the worse and worse position they're going to find themselves in.
But again, okay, this is why De'Aaron Fox looked as sad as he did, right, for lack of a better term, when Jason Anderson said he saw him in the locker room, because I do think they realized this, and I think they realized they missed a huge opportunity on the road. Trey Lyles said they believe they should have went 4-1. Yep. Well, they didn't. They went 2-3. Mm-hmm. So you got to flush it. You got to move forward and hopefully get back on the right track, because I think they realize all these things, Chris. They are healthy right now, and a lot of teams aren't, and they're still not able to get things done. All right, get into a break. When we get back, we will be joined by Andy Herman of the Pack-A-Day podcast, writer for the Packer Report as well, to talk all things Packers. How can they pull this off, and his thoughts on the Niners and Brock Purdy. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sunday on Sactown Sports, 2 more teams will punch their tickets to the conference championships. The Detroit Lions get another home game as they host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then it's Mahomes versus Allen as the Chiefs battle the Bills in Buffalo.
Bucs and Lions Sunday at noon, followed by Chiefs and Bills at 3:30.
Get all your NFL playoff action on your home of Super Bowl 58. Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit Abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new new ultra high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Did you know there's dust floating around your home?
Really?
Yeah. Dust starts on hard surfaces like shelves and ceiling fans. And when you walk by, dust starts to move, compromising the quality of the air you and your family breathe.
So what do I do?
Get Swiffer Heavy Duty Duster. Swiffer Heavy Duty Duster is the fast and easy way to trap and lock dust.
Before it gets into the air.
Exactly. So you can just... Swiffer Heavy Duty Duster, proud partner of the American Lung Association.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I started vaping my freshman year of high school, mostly because all my friends had vapes. I wanted to fit in with them and look cool and be a part of everything that they were doing. The hardest part about quitting for me was all my friends still hitting their vapes right next to me. It was really frustrating and confusing when I was trying to quit because in my head I knew I didn't want to do it anymore, but for some reason my brain still wanted it.
No quit story is the same. For free support, text Kick Nicotine to 66819 today.
Jackson Hewitt has a plan to get your tax refund fast with a buck here, buck there. Here a buck, there a buck, everywhere a buck.
You don't have to wait weeks for your tax refund. Get money sooner with a no-fee refund advance loan at Jackson Hewitt.
On this loan, there's a money today guarantee. E-I-E-I-O.
Don't settle for chicken feed. Get fast bucks at Jackson Hewitt today. No-fee refund advance loans by Republic Bank offered to eligible clients. Money today guarantee if approved for a loan on a prepaid card. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope, and they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Andy Herman of the Pack-A-Day podcast, writer as well for the Packer Report. Andy, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, Andy, let's start here. Let's just get right into it. In your opinion, how do you think the Packers are able to pull this off?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think this is a really fun matchup for Green Bay, and the fact that number one, they're playing great football, and this is going to be a tremendous test against maybe the best team in football, if not one of the best teams in football, a team that Green Bay is sort of trying to emulate. Obviously, Matt LaFleur is running a similar system to what Kyle Shanahan is in San Francisco, and they're really trying to put the pieces together on offense to be able to do a lot of the same things. And we saw it against Dallas this past week of when this offense is running on all cylinders and Jordan Love's playing the way that he's capable of. They can take on just about anyone in their own stadium and go out and beat them. Now, San Francisco is going to be a much different challenge than what Dallas was this past week. Dallas felt just sort of tight and nervous and not wanting to lose the game rather than going out to win, and Green Bay was the exact opposite. I don't think Green Bay is going to run into that same thing in San Francisco. It's going to start on defense. This Packers defense isn't good. Let's just put it that way. San Francisco is going to find ways to put up points, but Green Bay's defense has been better these past few weeks, and specifically with just some of the basics, some of the easy stuff. They've been communicating better. They've been rallying to the football, tackling better, taking better angles. They can't match up with San Francisco from a personnel standpoint, but they can make things harder and more difficult. And if they can do that and they can limit San Francisco to somewhere in the mid-20s, then Green Bay's offense is going to have a chance. If San Fran just puts up 30-something, it's probably just going to be better luck next year. But then from Green Bay side of things on offense, they just have to keep doing what they're doing. This offense is really, really tough to stop. And the team that can stay balanced the longest with McCaffrey and Aaron Jones is probably going to be the team that ends up on the better side of this thing.
Yeah, Andy, and just in general, now that you guys have that win over over Dallas, how just in the past couple weeks has the bar for next season been raised for this Packers team? I mean, it felt like, even just to get into the playoffs felt like a major success, but now that you have a playoff win over Dallas and you are going to play a really good Niners team, I mean, how has the expectations for next year and just moving forward with Jordan Love changed?
Yeah, the goalposts have moved entirely because a lot of people, myself included, talked about 2025 as sort of the year that they were trying to open a window, or at least start opening a window to try to be competitive again. That might have even been, just trying to get back to the playoffs and trying to win some games. Yeah, here we are at the end of the 2023 season, and they've already gone on the road in a playoff game and beat Dallas, and now get set for this divisional round matchup with the 49ers. So, yeah, going from a team that really wasn't expected to make the playoffs to making the playoffs, things have moved up. This is a team that is going to return pretty much everyone next year. There's an outside chance that, who knows what's going to happen with the Bakhtiari situation, but technically he's under contract for next year. All of their major players their biggest free agents are basically like John Runyon Jr. and Yosh Nijman, A.J. Dillon, guys that they have replacements for if they need them. They can have a little bit of money to spend in free agency, not a ton, but they can open some if they want. But more importantly, they have 5 top 100 draft picks set for this upcoming draft again. They have the ability to continue to load this roster with young playmakers on both sides of the ball. We'll see if they make a change at defensive coordinator. It might have a lot to do with if they lose this game, and if so, was it all on the defensive side of the ball? But they have the opportunity to make improvements, and they've certainly moved that timeline up quite a bit.
Talking to Andy Herman of the Pack-A-Day podcast and writer for the Packer Report. Now, Andy, I'm sure you saw the drama that was going on in the Milwaukee airwaves yesterday with some things that were said about, we'll call it setting the tone with Brock Purdy. We're not trying to get into trouble on these airwaves, but what are your thoughts on Brock Purdy and what he brings to the table?
Yeah, let me just start by saying don't judge Packers Nation and the people who cover the team or the people that cheer for the team based on one former Packers dumb take on what should happen in this game. So we'll put it that way. What I will say about Brock Purdy is obviously, there's always the debatable, well, is this just the Shanahan system and all these weapons? Well, yeah, I mean, it certainly helps, but it's not just that. And I think the evidence of that is he's just playing at a different level than what we've seen some of these 49ers quarterbacks, even in Kyle Shanahan's system, play at before. I think the big test remaining for Brock is obviously going to be what he can do in the playoffs, and can he make this run and have this team that's been playing so well all season and get them to and maybe even win a Super Bowl this season. I think if all of a sudden Brock would have a ton of struggles in this game and have a Baltimore Ravens-esque game, then you start probably maybe being a little bit more questioning of what's going on and can he be the guy? But man, I talk about a former late 7th round pick, last pick in the draft, to do what he's doing already and have the ability to make improvisational plays, play within the offense, and utilize all those playmakers to the best of their abilities. I don't think anyone in Green Bay is super excited that they have Purdy quarterbacking this offense. I think a lot of people wish it was back to Jimmy Garoppolo. Not that Green Bay had any success against him either.
Yeah, I'm curious, when did you see, and I guess it could have been multiple times this season and different switches being flip, but when did the switch really flip in your eyes for Jordan Love? And I mean, the way he performed last week, it definitely took the nation by storm. I don't think anybody really saw that kind of performance coming. And like I said, it might have been multiple different times throughout this season, but when has it really felt like things just have started to click for Jordan Love?
Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of a journey, but to make it most simple, the Steelers game is really where the offense found some form of identity, and they lost that game. They went on the road in Pittsburgh. It's not like they put up a ton of points in that game, but that was the first game that you looked at it and it was like, all right, Jordan and this offense found things that they can do moving forward. And then you immediately go on this 3-game win streak against the Chargers, the Lions on Thanksgiving, and then the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. And they really found their rhythm. He had one setback against the Giants after that, and then had a really tough game in New York. But after that, has been basically on fire ever since. There's an argument to be made that he's played as well as anyone in football over the second half of the season. And really since that Steelers game, it's been massively impressive. And he's certainly coming off the best game of his career against Dallas this past week.
Talking to Andy Herman of the Pack-A-Day podcast and writer for the Packer Report. Andy, what worries you the most? We know what worries you the least about the Niners. It's probably the special teams and Jake Moody. But what worries you the most about the Niners when you look at this team?
Yeah, let me just start with Jake Moody. So you guys are worried about Jake Moody. Anders Carlson is in no different of a position.
Yeah.
So both of these field goal games, I think both teams are just going to be stomachs and knots every time they're going out to kick the ball. So I don't think anyone necessarily has an advantage there. The biggest worry to me is just how Green Bay tries to match up with this base personnel of San Francisco. You guys obviously know, but Ayuk and Samuel, McCaffrey, Kittle, and Juszczyk, it's just they can do everything at any given moment. The worry, of course, is you come out and nickel against that group and they just run it down your throat. And Christian McCaffrey is the fifth running back, or the fifth team, I guess, to go for 200 plus rushing yards against Green Bay this season. And that is obviously not going to be a recipe for success. The other issue is you come out in a heavier formation or drop that safety into the box or whatever you might do to try to stop the run. And San Francisco can just spread them wide. And you go back to the Tampa game. Tampa just did that. They just spread Green Bay out wide. There have been multiple teams that have done this to Green Bay all season, and you end up with these favorable matchups on either Quay Walker or Devondre Campbell or Preston Smith, and it's just pitch and catch for the quarterback, and that becomes a major issue. So I have no idea what Joe Barry does. I don't think there's a good answer. I think you have to try to make Brock Purdy beat you rather than Christian McCaffrey, not that either are super desirable options at this point. But yeah, that's by far and away the thing that would concern me most.
Andy Herman of the Pack-A-Day podcast, writer for Pack Report. Andy, thank you so much. I saw on your I saw on your Twitter page that you also were a bit of a foodie, right? I mean, I know the game is in Santa Clara in San Francisco, but if anybody finds themselves out there in the Green Bay Packer area, where should they frequent?
Yeah, there's a couple of great restaurants. Hinterland right next to the stadium is great. Play Bistro on the other side of town is phenomenal as well. And there's a great pizza place called Rustique a little bit further north. So some good options, but you guys are probably better off with the food options in San Francisco. Let's just put it that way.
Thanks so much, Andy. We'll talk to you soon, and we'll see what happens this weekend.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Andy.
Getting to a break. When we get back, Sam Amico had some information on what the Kings are looking for and a team that fits perfectly with Harrison Barnes. All the things that we've been saying about Harrison Barnes, there is a perfect team, and Chris and I called this months ago. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
For a precision-crafted performance, the decision is easy. A new Acura from Acura of Stockton. Get the driving experience you've been waiting for in a new Acura. Get the best selection and customer service you deserve from Acura of Stockton. Shop in person or use our online express store at AcuraofStockton.com. Acura of Stockton will buy your trade, even if you don't buy from us. Don't settle for less than precision-crafted performance of a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Thank you again to Andy Herman of the Pack-A-Day podcast and writer for the Packer Reports, making it very clear that what was said yesterday in Milwaukee airwaves or Wisconsin airwaves does not reflect the fan base. And, I always think that, right? When people say, oh, that's a bad fan base or whatever it is, are there really any bad fan bases?
Lakers.
Like bad.
Eagles.
Warriors. Yeah.
Okay.
Lakers are bad.
Why are Lakers bad?
They're loud. They're obnoxious. When they're bad, they think everybody is always super interested in going to their team. I'm tired of it was more of a problem before in a pre-LeBron Laker era, but the graphics of and this is when they have Lonzo Ball, Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, and instead there's graphics of Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Giannis, Paul George, all in the Lakers and saying soon with eyeball emojis.
But you can be bad in different ways, right?
Annoying. Bad fans are I don't know if anyone's a bad spirited fan, but there are fan bases that are a lot more annoying, which I would say is what we would classify as bad. And of course, the Cowboys are
bad. Well, the thing about the Lakers now is it's combined between Laker and LeBron. That's two of the worst people are hanging out together. So that's the problem with Laker fans right now. They're
and there's a lot of infighting too of there's Kobe fans and then there's Laker fans and like you said, now there's LeBron fans and it's it's just a lot of just your team is one of the best teams of all time. Can you just be happy with that?
Well, now I'm thinking about legacy stuff, right? And how fans kind of hang around. And obviously the Lakers have had more success than the Bulls as a whole, obviously. But you win 6 championships with the Bulls, and literally, is this a good comparison? The Bulls and their championships, and how once Michael Jordan was gone, the Bulls during that time may have been America's basketball team, but once Michael Jordan was gone, it was over.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the same type of vibes with the Warriors, right? Some fan bases grow and stay that way and continue to grow.
Yeah.
But you have to continue to have success.
Yeah.
Maybe there were some Bulls fans that weren't from Chicago that were more Michael Jordan fans hanging around. And then when the Bulls kind of just fell off a cliff, they said, okay, I'm just going to go be a fan of the team in my area. And
there's still a lot of Bulls fans though. I think
you think so?
If you go I'm telling you, I think I've told you this before at Golden One Center, consistently, the only times you're going to get split crowds are Laker, Warrior, Celtics, and Bulls games. And the Bulls threw me off. I did not know. I was unfamiliar with their game like that, but there's still a ton. And I think the big thing, and I think the Warriors might get a piece of it, kind of what you were referring to, is the culture element of it, where it's you go to, I've been doing a lot of online shopping here recently. Maybe it's because it's getting towards tax return season.
Well, and now you're about to do more because you just said it, so your phone's listening to that.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great point. There's a lot of if you go to mitchellandness.com, there's not going to be a lot of Kings brand stuff, but they're going to have tons of Bulls stuff. And that stuff, it matters, especially overseas and just internationally.
I just liken that to the retro.
Brand. Yeah.
I just liked him. I thought I saw that, right? I see that. I just thought it was all connected to MJ. And maybe it is.
I'm sure it's a combination of MJ. It's red and black, so it's a really good classic color combo. And I mean, yeah, it's a combination of it all, and it's a huge market too. We can't forget Chicago's like the third biggest media market in America.
It just confuses me because it's never a destination place because it's so darn cold out there.
Freezing.
But I guess in a way you respect it if you get to go there, but no, free agents aren't necessarily super thrilled to go there. On the Sack Chat from Alan Diamond, Stiles Schmedium looking like a Wesley Snipes vampire movie.
You want to handle that one?
I'm in.
You didn't have to read that,
That's
right?
a good one. No, that's a good one, Alan Diamond.
You're looking like Blade.
Yeah, I watched it. I think it shrunk a little bit when I watched it. Thank you, Alan Diamond. You call me Blade?
Wow.
That's a cool name. Stiles Blade?
Yeah, Blade and Watkins.
Blade Stiles?
The Stiles Blade. Thank you, Alan Diamond. Yeah, shout out to the Schmediums.
Shout out to the Schmediums out there.
I did peg you as a vampire kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't like to sleep.
Big fan.
No.
I don't like
That's
to
why
sleep.
you had a kid.
That's
That's why.
Yeah, that's right. That's why it fits.
Yeah.
That's why I'm gonna have 4 more. Thank you, Alan Diamond. As we
appreciate it.
That was a good one.
I liked it.
Thank you. That was good.
It's not a Donald Glover.
I'll read them if they're good. I haven't got Donald. I got Donald Glover.
It wasn't even that much of a
since
diss.
day
The
one.
last time I got Donald Glover was I don't know.
It was like the first week
No.
of the show.
Yeah.
We haven't
You
seen
do
it
not
since.
look like Donald Glover.
I get it.
It's when his beard is more full.
I just
is when he
trimmed.
gets it more.
Who
Yeah.
do people say you look like, Chris?
Yeah, Chris.
I've gotten Irv Gotti. Someone told me Kenley Jansen.
I can see that.
Who else?
You actually look like somebody I played baseball with, and my buddy and I were talking about it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's the worst being on the receiving end of
I
that.
love McConan.
When
Someone
someone's
told me
like,
that.
when someone's
Oh,
like,
is it
I
McConan
know
or
someone that
Mackinnon?
looks like you.
I think it's McConan. I don't know. I mean, he's irrelevant nowadays.
I'd give you Kenley.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenley. I saw a bit of Kenley. I think it might be like nose down as Kenley for me, or I
Right,
can't remember
right.
what it was, but I was like, I could see it a bit, but I don't get a lot of lookalikes that often.
Yeah.
People
Nate-
used to say the Weekend in general. I don't think the Weekend, but I also can't stand the Weekend. So
Yeah.
I just silence the whole
Yeah, at Mid Rock on the Sack Chat, Watkins totally looks like Jansen. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Nate, who do you get?
I get
Seth
Kylo-
MacFarlane?
Oh, dude, let's not do that. Let's not do that. I was thinking it, but I wasn't gonna say.
Oh,
it.
I was gonna
I see it now.
I get. Oh, okay.
I see it now.
I get Kylo Ren, that guy.
Adam Driver?
I've
What?
gotten that. Just Kylo Ren's, I think specifically.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
That's
I
a
know.
big insult too, in my
I know.
opinion.
I know.
Adam
Adam Driver?
is a
Yeah.
scary looking individual.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's not great.
I try to strike.
I
fear.
I don't get that one.
There's just one. I don't want to get in. Never mind. Whatever.
Wow.
I don't want to get into it.
That's crazy.
I feel like Nate is a bit out of like not central casting, but like you definitely could have been in like those like American Pie type movies.
Yeah,
know?
you could be Stifler.
Am I a bro like that?
I wouldn't say bro, but you've got a
I have a unique look, I think.
yeah. You should,
Like I got
Mr.
acne
Collins should have been there.
scars. I got big eyebrows.
What is
I have
happening?
big lips,
Nate's
kind of
just
too.
roasting
like-
himself now.
No, it's
No,
just my
but Chris, be
features.
quiet. We can't say anything though.
You guys are wild because you went so far yet. You guys just you didn't go so far, but you set up this question like I was like a brain dead
It
person.
wasn't even that bad of a question.
No, you were asking yesterday.
Yeah, I
You just-
know.
It's fine. I'm not even mad.
He's
Chris,
still hurt.
they're
not
saying
even
on the
mad.
Sack Chat,
He's
I just
still
looked it up. They're saying Gabriel Gonzaga.
I'm
He
sorry?
is a UFC fighter. I just
Oh my
Googled
god,
it.
yeah.
What?
That's
All right,
that's quite the poll.
That's definitely a new one. Nate, are you looking at it?
I can
I know
see
who it is.
Really?
I can see
Is
it.
this gonna make me upset?
Maybe
I don't
should
know.
look it up.
I mean, that fool just looks mad. To be honest with you, this man's face just looks upset. So
He's just a UFC fighter.
he's got a little bit, and maybe he's a UFC fighter. Got a little bit of Neanderthal in him.
Yeah, bro. His forehead's
Yeah.
Chris. You
This is the Sack Chat. This isn't
That's
me.
wild. Y'all are so disrespectful. That's crazy.
This is not me.
That's crazy. I'm not saying you. I'm saying
Yeah.
Wow.
Come
we'll
on.
go with
Look
Kenley,
like
man.
This dude's got
giant baby.
This dude is
And
definitely.
there are multiple people in there.
Homo sapien.
CK916 really just
Wow.
Joe
Wow.
just dropped it.
That's crazy.
yeah.
Whatever.
Quiet, Stifler.
Joe,
Quiet,
come
Adam
on,
Driver.
Joe. I know, dude. It's because of that one
I don't even get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
That one is wild.
I mean, it hurts a little bit, but it's like whatever.
Well, now that I know it hurts, I'll keep saying.
Yeah, it's better than Seth MacFarlane. Yeah, Ted 2. This is a Ted
I didn't even
TV
see
show
Ted
now.
2.
There is. I saw that. It's on.
I was
it's on
actually
Peacock.
at a. You know how they do the screening? We're off the rails,
It's
but
fine.
you know how they do the pre-screenings for like Nielsen has certain people to see a movie way before before the CGI is done, all that stuff. I saw Ted 2 like that. So I got to see it way.
Why were you selected?
Just part of a younger, that like 18-year-old kind of.
They thought he was Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, they invited Seth.
They're like, here's your film, sir.
No,
And
it's
he's
Undercover Boss. He was an undercover boss.
That's exactly what it was.
All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, we have Sam Amico and the team that has an interest in Harrison Barnes, Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies today. We'll have light southeast winds and afternoon highs in the upper 50s to about 60 degrees. Expect overnight lows in the mid 40s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The new year is here at Folsom Lake Kia. Shop my favorite dealer, Folsom Lake Kia, for low interest rates, low payment with zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia for over 25 years right here in Sacramento.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. The Red and Gold seem to be as healthy as ever entering their first playoff game this weekend, using the first round bye to their advantage. Running back Christian McCaffrey returned to practice Tuesday, taking the last 2 weeks off to rest an injured calf. Additionally, Sacramento native Eric Armstead is back practicing with the team and expects to play in his first game since Week 13. San Francisco opens their 2024 postseason against Green Bay, fresh off a dominant win over Dallas.
Welcome the new year with EB Stone, your go-to for indoor gardening success. In 2024, enrich your indoor oasis with EB Stone's Indoor Potting Mix, our best premium blend crafted for vibrant growth. Explore our comprehensive range from soil amendments to fertilizers and find everything your indoor garden craves. Nurture new beginnings, cultivate lush landscapes, and witness your dreams unfold. Cheers to a green and thriving new year with EB Stone, the heartbeat of your indoor garden success. Find a location near you for our products and tips at ebstone.org.
When accidents turn life upside down, AutoAccident.com is in your corner. Compassionate advice, loyal support, and the courage to fight for you. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Get a great deal on your new Silverado at the Maida Chevy Silverado Superstore. Great selection, great factory financing and incentive, and great Maida Chevy savings on every new Silverado in stock. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Have you ever envisioned having $500,000 in advertising to conquer the remodel market, but felt overwhelmed at the thought of going it alone? Now you don't have to. Join Subcontractors United and share your advertising with 2 other contractors in your trade. Get $500,000 in advertising for only $1,042 a month. We are so sure this will work that we're giving away free advertising until June 2024 to qualified contractors. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
The world has changed a lot these last few years. You can do pretty much anything from your home, including order your new Honda from Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Check out our great selection at StocktonHonda.com or come in today and get pre-approved all in the blink of an eye. Stockton Honda makes buying a car simple and stress-free.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
It's time to buck up Sacramento. The professional bull riders are back. PBR Sacramento Wrangler Long Live Cowboys Classic will take over downtown's Golden One Center this February 2nd through 4th. 3 huge nights of edge-of-your-seat bucking, featuring some of the biggest bulls and toughest cowboys on the planet. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets for a weekend of non-stop bucking action this February 2nd through 4th.
Sacramento's premier music festival, Country in the Park, is back. 2 big ol' nights, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Walker Hayes, and more. 2-day GA tickets are on sale now starting at $85, or upgrade your experience with VIP or pit passes. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Oak Ridge Winery.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Harrison Barnes has interest. And the team that is interested in him, yeah, this is why you listen to the show. Chris and I, look, some people have sources.
Yeah.
Some people get a text message.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, did you hear about this? I can't reveal who said it. Because I don't want to break their trust. Yeah. Chris and I, we just know ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sam Amico comes out of the Hoops Wire.
By the way, Sam Amico, not Sam Amick.
Not Sam Amick, Sam Amico. Okay? Both talk basketball.
Yeah.
Both write basketball. And who is interested in Harrison Barnes? The Houston Rockets.
Uh-oh.
One of the youngest teams in the league. They've gotten a little bit older, getting Dylan Brooks, right, and getting Fred VanVleet, but they still got some of these young guns, and somebody needs to show them how to fill out their W-2s.
Yes, sir.
Tax season is around the corner.
Yep.
This is how you tie a tie, young man.
No. Don't use that return to buy yourself a chain,
That's
young
right.
blood.
That's right.
I'm telling you, get yourself a brown suit.
Yep.
Get yourself some brown shoes.
A Roth IRA.
Okay.
Invest in a Roth IRA.
Okay.
These are the things you need to do.
on.
Okay. Your family wants to come. You get 3 family members. You invite 3 family members a game, and that's it. Okay. Your uncle, your cousin who comes up to you. Hey, bro, can I hold something? No, you may not. All right. You send them to me. You forward that call to Harrison Barnes.
HB.
That is exactly what H-Town needs.
You know what HB
Somebody
stands
like Harrison
for?
Barnes.
Handle business.
Handle business.
Okay.
Some stand on business. HB handles business. You think it actually happens?
I hope so. I sure do.
But who would the Kings be getting?
It would have to be like young assets, which I definitely think the Kings could use more of. I mean, you know, when we talk about the Pacers and the other outlets in which they're able to do, I mean, Monty McNair has really depleted this team about as much as you can of young assets with trading Tyrese Halliburton, whether that was the right move or not. Davion Mitchell is somebody who's only lost value since he's been drafted. Keegan, of course, worked out, but he's traded Omax Prosper last year in the draft. And then this year, the Kings don't even have the rights at this moment to the pick if they wanted to trade it with Atlanta holding those restrictions right now. So, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if you say, hey, Houston, you have almost too many young players. Can we hold Atari Eason? You know, could we maybe kick some tires on a Cam Whitmore? You know, there's a couple young pieces over there where you could see it being intriguing to Sacramento. So I think that you could probably work something out with some of the younger guys, because at some point Houston does have too many and they're only going to get more.
Yeah, and maybe there's a third team that gets involved there. There's a lot of things that can happen. But yeah, that would be Harrison Barnes, that's a spot now.
And this is for everyone out there who says, hey, HB's got no value at all. This is another example of like, you can't look at everything through King's glasses. Everybody everywhere is just like, everybody needs something. And you can definitely find a home for Harrison.
He'd be starting, right?
Let's see here. Yeah, you'd probably run Van Vliet, Jalen Green. I would assume they'd move Dylan Brooks to the bench.
Because I was going to say, isn't that a little bit redundant, Dylan Brooks and HB?
A bit, yeah. I mean, HB is going to come in and you're going to want him to shoot threes and play defense, and that's pretty much what Dylan Brooks is there to do. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, probably. And it makes a little bit more sense, I think. It's a little bit more justifiable to bring Dylan Brooks off the bench than HB when you're first getting a look at him. I think
Chris and I, we just know ball.
Yeah, that's like, right. Whoa.
Yeah, I was like, wait, am I talking?
What's happening? Yeah, so I would think HB would probably start on Houston, and I think we know that it probably wouldn't make much of a difference, but it is a good culture guy for them to bring in. And, HB will give you some things.
Hey.
And they don't have aspirations either. Houston's just kind of, A, they're playing with house money right now. And B, it's like, paying HB is at least keeping you above the salary floor as well, which is a big reason why they signed Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks to so much money.
Beamer, Beams, or Beamley, my favorite name. I say it every time on the Sack Chat. Any way we get Dylan Brooks back? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think the contract's too expensive to justify a swap with HB. I like the idea of the player of Dylan Brooks, but I mean, even when we were talking about it during the offseason, Dylan Brooks is not a guy I would want to pay a lot of money. He's the kind of guy who you want to be paying under $10 million. And if he gives you anything, which he can hit threes and play some defense. But the problem is he's a dude who, if you pay him $20 million, he's going to throw that back in your face and say, I'm a $28 million per year player. You're not bringing me off the bench, or you're not treating me this way, or I deserve something because I make this much money. And, I just think if you pay Dylan Brooks more so in the role you want him to have, it's a little bit easier to kind of rate him in.
Yeah, but Woj on a Spaces yesterday did say that the Kings are looking for somebody that's going to help them defensively. Yeah. So Matisse Thybulle, come on down. I don't know if you can get that done and hold on to a Kevin Huerter, because I don't want to lose that much. As much as I talk about Kevin Huerter, I don't want to lose that much of the offensive punch when you kind of need everybody right now, the way it's been hot and cold, and you already seem a little bit one-dimensional, so you remove somebody helping that dimension. That doesn't I don't think that would be the best way to go about things. I don't know if you saw this, because there's so many podcasts running around, and it was a little bit too long for us to clip here, but Emmanuel Mudiay was speaking yesterday, and he brought up, and this ties back into the money situation with Harrison Barnes. If you look at how much Harrison Barnes is making, how much a Trey Lyles is making, when people want to, so-and-so should be starting, this is that. And we hear about it in all sports, right? Maybe the only sport I don't hear about it in is football, because football is, we need soldiers. I don't care. Right. But I've heard about it, and I've had friends that got drafted and they hit 300 and got released because they weren't worth enough money. Right. And Emmanuel Mudiay basically says when he was playing well. He didn't use a player's name, but he got relegated to the bench. And when he talked to the coach said, hey, man, you've been doing great.
Yeah.
Right. You've been balling out. Problem is, the guy that you're in the rotation with is making $20 million.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel Mudiay. Now, are there lines to this? If that were the case, there would never be any G League stories, right?
Course, yeah.
But are there lines to this to where it's wrong place, wrong time? Probably. And do you think that the reason Harrison Barnes has ever not been on the bench is partly due to how much they're paying him?
Not until this year.
Yeah.
I think this year is really the biggest one where it's felt like, it's just his play hasn't been there. And not that Trey or Sasha even has played well enough to necessarily say those guys deserve to be in the starting lineup, but it's more so at the fact that he's swapped around that 2-guard spot left and right and used just about everybody that you can in that position. But HB, who's played just as poorly as Kevin Huerter or as Chris Duarte or, as Keon Ellis, if you want to put Keon in that group as well, he's played just as poorly as those guys, but he has not faced the same repercussions as what Kevin did. And I would say HB has been worse and he gets paid more, so there should be more expected out of him. And the fact that he hasn't performed at all, but his standing in the starting lineup at least hasn't changed, I would say is a prime example of exactly what you're saying, the Emmanuel Mudiay thing, where it's probably because HB gets paid $17 million on a brand new contract. And, you know, Trey Lyles and Sasha just signed, what was it, $7 or $8 million?
So Trey Lyles, I got it right here. Trey Lyles signed 2 years, $60 million. So he makes 16.
Gotcha.
So he makes
like there's no way.
Yeah, $60 million. Yeah, he makes $8 million a year. Okay. And taking it back to Chris Duarte, that contract that he has from Indiana.
Right. Should still be a rookie one, maybe.
Exactly. He's making his cap hit is $4 million.
Yeah.
Right. So it's interesting. Maybe it's the timing of it as well, because like you said, Kevin Huerter's making what? About
15, 16.
Maybe they feel like it's different timing on top of what HB does. We know Dole Swiss Army knife. At least he can give us something on top of the fact that we just paid him.
And it could hurt his value a lot more.
And it could hurt his value because everybody's looking for shooters. I think it was Whitey who was in when we were switching out and after the crossover when he said everybody's always looking for pitching if you're a baseball team and everybody's always looking for shooters.
Yes.
If you're a basketball team.
Sounds like something you would say.
So maybe they're not really as worried about that. Everybody's going to take a chance on a hot shooter who's 25.
Everyone tells themselves too, like shooters go through shooting slumps and then this is just kind of what they do. Whereas if you sit HB, that's like, well, this dude's supposed to do a little bit of everything. And if you're benching him, isn't that a sign that he's giving you nothing? Yeah. And so it's a little bit harder to try and, I think, convince the other team, you know, why it's a tougher sell if you're going to bench HB than, like you're saying, telling a team, oh no, Kevin, he's not shooting well for us, but he's almost shooting so poorly. You're going to get the progressive back to the mean. Like you're going to get him on the hot streak. We already dealt with the bad. You're going to get a lot of the good. And with HB, it's just a lot harder to say, no, this is just a bad stretch. He's going to get out of it because it's like, well, if he can do a little bit of everything, and I'm trying to look here at what it is he is doing, looks to me like he's doing nothing. I mean, how many times have we said HB had X amount of points with 1 rebound, 1 assist, and a steal
in 32 minutes?
Yeah. And it's like, well, can you give somebody something to work with? Because it's just not happening.
Get into a break. When we get back, it's the dog segment. And I'll tell you what, if they lose, we're grounding them again. And honestly, the only reason we're even doing the dog segment is because they're at home.
Yes.
We're trying to get the vibes right.
Yes.
But you lose this game without Tyrese Halliburton, you're grounded again. And it's going to be for a longer period of time. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, He just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life, celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
I remember as if it were yesterday. I reached down to move a nightstand and was astonished at the weight of the piece. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. At that moment, I instantly recognized the difference between Naturewood's quality furniture that will last a lifetime versus lesser quality furniture found elsewhere. Now, I suppose there's a huge difference in what you'd put in your first apartment and what you would live with in the comfort of your own home. Right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings Made in USA sale is a great time to fill your home with solid, superior quality furniture to reflect your own love for life. With brands like Sam Moore, Stanton, Stickley, Hilltop Hickory, Simply Amish, and many more, Naturewood Home Furnishings has tables, chairs, couches, and, yes, nightstands, and more at their Made in USA sale. Find furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
The Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame induction celebration is back Sunday, February 4th at the brand new venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Join us as we induct the class of 2024. NBA champion Matt Barnes, All-Star James Donaldson, Major League Baseball's Nick Johnson and Leon Lee, and world champion triathlete Jamie Whitmore. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. For all info, go to SacSportsHOF.com.
Hi, this is Dusty Baker, proud member of the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame. You have to be there to see it at Thunder Valley Casino.
The new year is here at Folsom Lake Kia. Shop my favorite dealer, Folsom Lake Kia, for low interest rates, low payment with zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia for over 25 years right here in Sacramento.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916.
It is time for the dog segment. And I'm telling you right now, Kings, don't play with us, man.
Not today.
You can't play with us anymore. But Kings fans don't deserve this. Okay, it's been raining for some reason every single Saturday, and only on Saturday. And it's gonna do it again. I already looked.
Let me see.
It is set to rain.
It sure is.
Yep.
On Saturday, 90% chance.
Only Saturdays. So can you please give us some sunshine and get a W with Halliburton in the building? Dog segment.
In the building.
Let's see. I feel like I've started off the last couple.
Okay.
Let's start with Chris Watkins.
Uh-oh. Well, I mean, I'm looking tonight at the big man, Domas. I mean, I think De'Aaron's a good option, especially without Tyrese out there. I would warn people, TJ McConnell. You want to talk about a dog? My real dog pick is TJ McConnell.
All right.
I'm telling you,
TJ
is going to be a pest all night long.
If we're doing that, then I'm doing Miles Turner.
All right, hey now. You know what? Stifler?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. You're going with Domas?
I'm going to go with Domas. Sabonis, this is from Will Z Stats here. Sabonis has been nearly unstoppable on the inside as of late. In the last 6 games, Sabonis has shot 40 of 48 in the restricted area. Pacers give up 31 restricted area field goal attempts per game, most in the NBA. That, to me, sounds like Sabonis should eat. I want this to look a lot like, I know Miles Turner is a little bit better of competition, but hey, who probably has the inside track on everything that is Miles Turner? I would hope it's Domantas Sabonis, who saw him every single day.
Revenge game in a way.
Revenge game for sure. Absolutely. There's tons of Pacer fans, obviously, going to be watching tonight. He's got to show them, hey, I know you think your guy Tyrese Halliburton's fun, but let's not forget how sick I am. So let's do a, you know what? Let's blow it out.
Yeah.
30-point triple-double tonight for Domantas Sabonis. Yeah. We went there. 30-point triple double
30 for 30
tonight for
Wow.
Domantas Sabonis. Wow.
Okay.
A 30 for 30 would be crazy. How about let's do a 30, 20, 10? Let's not, but I'm just going to say it. Let's just say
10.
But let's just do 30, 10, and 10.
Okay. All right.
But I'm going to claim it if he does do the 30, 20, 10.
That is spicy.
That's something. It's definitely something.
I went De'Aaron last time. I know we've been hard on De'Aaron, but I don't think we can go De'Aaron. You know where I'm going with this? I actually think I am going with Keegan
Murray.
I'm
Back
going
at
with
home,
Keegan Murray.
too. Yeah.
I'm going with Keegan Murray because I think that what they have to show the world tonight, even with no Tyrese Halliburton, and yes, they're going to have to face the Pacers in, a couple weeks in their house. But I feel like he is also part of this new wave of Kings basketball.
Yeah.
And Tyrese hasn't really seen that action.
He is not.
Okay? And I think that it's going to be a Keegan Murray situation to where Tyrese says, hey, you know what? You guys are doing well for yourself. We got Siakam. Everything is everything. I'm not going to talk about it on podcasts anymore. I'm just going to move forward. You guys got a dog in Keegan Murray, and he can ball. He can ball, and he's going to have front row seats because he's not playing. I'm going Keegan Murray. Nate, what you got?
This gets harder every time we do it. It's like
because they're losing.
They're losing, and I just do I pick a guy off the bench? Do I pick I mean, it's such a hard job we have here.
All right,
sports related, but I'm just gonna go Trey Lyles. I think.
Okay.
You guys talking about HB not being on the bench, kind of because he makes too much money, which I mean sounds silly on the surface, but it's definitely some truth to that. Yeah. And you guys know ball, so I'm going Trey Lyles. I think he has a pretty decent game, and if they were going to replace HB, I think that'd be the guy to do it. So maybe that process starts tonight or continues.
Yeah, Trey Lyles has been so hot, and he is literally, to me, and I know I say this about a bunch of guys, to be fair, but he is the epitome of if that first ball goes in, if that first shot goes in, that first three, I feel like it's a completely different game for Trey Lyles. Yeah. He never has Trey Lyles ever had 4 points or 5 points? I feel like it's either has 9 or
25
or 0.
Okay.
Right? Well, he didn't play that much. He either got 9 or 0.
He was more the second half of the season last year. I felt like Trey Lyles was a pretty big part of this team. Him re-signing was a big deal. I remember his post-game speech or postseason speech. Most important thing to me is coming back to Sac. We were running those promos here, so he people were stoked on Trey Lyles, and now he comes off with that injury to start the year. It's just ugly. It's ugly look. Getting back into the groove. But would you rather have him start for HB right now? If you could just make the call, would you start Lyles over HB?
I probably would at this point, but again, I would say it has more to do with HB than Trey.
Are you guys worried about lineup consistency, starting lineup consistency right now in the season either?
I mean, it's too late now.
Not really.
I mean, it's too late now. They're only moving, because it's only the same spots, right? Harrison hasn't moved, and it's just been that 2-guard spot. Nobody else has really – there hasn't been that many other changes. So, yeah, I don't think so. I got bonus for you. Okay.
A sub bonus.
Prop talk.
Ooh. Oh, man. Forgot prop talk.
With your dog. This is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
To go with your dog.
Parlay, as some would say.
Yeah.
That's right. So.
Some. Not us.
My dog, Keegan Murray.
Uh-huh.
If he's going to be my dog, they have it set at 2.5 3-pointers. I'm going over.
Taken or made?
Made.
Okay, right. Okay,
well,
just taken. That's it.
I mean, they're not trying to.
I just want to make sure.
So I'm going over.
Smash
on
it.
Keegan Murray. 2.5 3-pointers.
I like it. I like it
a lot.
So Nate, Trey Lyles. Sometimes he is offered right now. He's at 5.5 points. Nate.
So it's either. So it depends on this first basket.
In my opinion, yes.
If he's my dog, I'm going over. I'm going to say 16 for Lyles tonight.
16.
Yeah, I think yes. Yeah.
That's
He's hitting his shot.
Doggy dog.
He can shoot the three if he has confidence. If he gets that first one going.
Okay.
That's my call.
I love it.
We got it right here. Over 5.5.
Yeah.
For Trey Lyles, I have over 2.5 3-pointers.
That one's easy, man.
Sometimes there's a reason
you're right.
it's there.
You're right.
There's a reason it's there.
I like that one, though, a lot.
And Chris, you have one? You want me to read one for you?
Can I just make one up?
Sure.
Got 1 minute.
Can I do De'Aaron and Domas 50 points plus combined?
Oh, I might hit the under on that. De'Aaron scares me.
Yeah, no, I was going to say
because you said Sabonis 30, right?
I did.
De'Aaron's not scaring you right now?
No.
I know he's going to get Sabonis, if that's first quarters for Sabonis, over everything. Yeah. But he kind of cools off throughout the game. He sets that tone, which is what we saw in Philly. But I hear you, Chris.
Yeah. Super fair.
I want to win, so I'll go over.
Yeah.
But somebody's going to be carrying. I
would love to leave tonight, and it's not going to happen because it is a bit of a stretch of a narrative, but I would love to see De'Aaron get a little bit upset at this Pacers fan base as well and try and stick it to them and say, y'all think that you guys got – I've had to hear wrong point guard. Right. I've had to hear Tyrese is better. Even though Tyrese isn't playing, I would just like a message to be
said.
They're going to
be watching.
Because here's the thing. If De'Aaron has 15 points tonight, then – there's going to be a lot of – not that I'm sure De'Aaron cares about the Indiana population opinion of him, but –
the Jason Anderson thing kind of got me a little bit with De'Aaron, too.
It's definitely interesting.
I
think the combination of all of it, the 3 losses, the Jason Anderson, De'Aaron being a sad boy in the corner, I think that means tonight, again, I think they have to make a statement. The fact that none of the Pacers' best players or Tyrese isn't playing and Pascal's not going to be there, obviously no Bruce Brown, too. They got to just wipe the floor with them.
You have to. There you have it. Drive Guys up next. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you to all of our guests. Until tomorrow, secure the bag, light the beam.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple.